And fuck that.
I actually started the recording right before you said, fuck that. So that's going to seem really confusing out of context.
Honestly, best way to start it.
Is it though?
Yes.
Alright, I'm convinced.
So is it just the two of us today? That would be a shame, because I know fucking Shroud should be available. Zalatar kept saying he would join, but yeah, he's made no attempt to reach out to you, you know?
He hasn't messaged me. He hasn't added a character to the campaign. As far as I am aware, he has died.
Yeah. God damn it.
Well, sure, I just popped online.
Well, better late than never.
Sure, I just went online.
Both of you were here for the previous session, right?
What did you say?
Both of you were here for the previous session, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but Joseph left early, I think, right?
I had to, unfortunately. I will have to probably leave earlier today, like, because I gotta go meet my wife at her place of work, and I need to shower.
We didn't do.
Did you leave as soon as we got into the basement level, or did you leave sooner?
I was the first one to get to the basement level, and then I tried locking in, then everyone else went in and started exploring for the shit, and that's pretty much where I left.
Okay, so you were there for most of it. You missed like maybe 5-10 minutes of content.
Not bad.
So just to catch everybody up, since I think you were all there for the previous session, Joseph, the part that you missed is so after you and the rest of the party obliterated the horror show, the Centaur Construct, in a bloody and desperate battle, you all found the lair that he was protecting. Joseph unlocked it. You went inside and you found it's actually a pretty swanky apartment. And as everybody jumped inside and started poking around, you found that next to this swanky apartment was a sort of underground cave system with two tunnels. There was one tunnel which was not explored, and there was a second tunnel which was had a high-speed like cart rail system. Everybody piled into the high-speed cart, pulled the lever, and everyone was shot at like Mach 5 back home, allowing everyone to get home before the deadline. However, when they got out of the cart and they opened up the trapdoor above them, they found out that they were in the throne room just right next to the king's throne, meaning someone has fast access to and from the Rexland castle, someone who probably shouldn't.
Well, that's not good.
So all of you at this particular moment are piling out of said trapdoor, making awkward eye contact with the king as he slowly realizes that there's a secret door inside of his throne room.
Sure, it says, well, you got an assassin's dream down there.
Joseph's gonna be like, oh, I can't believe we beat my pixie here.
Hello there.
Normally I would say I'm happy to see you, but you seem to have come through a door I didn't know existed. This is most concerning. It will be filled with concrete shortly.
Wait, I have an idea.
Oh God, the dreaded words.
How about, okay, is there anybody in the Elven Court that you trust?
No.
Ouch.
Alright, oh, there goes that. I was thinking maybe if you were going to sign a mutual defense pact, you and the Elven Queen could, well, I don't know, guard both ends. That way, so that won't be used as somebody's fast track to assassination.
That actually makes me think. Would the other tunnel actually lead to the throne room of the Elven Kingdom? If so, somebody was out for both your heads, if that's the case.
As far as why I don't trust anyone in the Elven Kingdom, need I remind you, our kingdoms are still legally at war. So no, I don't trust anyone I am at war with. As far as whether or not there's a tunnel leading directly to them, that sounds like a great way to invade, which is what we were discussing before you arrived.
Then it begs the question: what was the why? Who put the construct there?
That's a question I was hoping you could answer.
Well, this line leads to a central point, which has looks like a home. So I'm thinking, so maybe if we actually through that. Oh, wait. He pulls out the chest and he opens it up. This was found here, and nothing else was in it. I already took out the 50 gold.
Uh-huh. Uh,
I could be wrong, but I'm almost 100% positive you already looted everything in that chest. I know Xavier took something important.
The chest, I took out the gold, and I tossed out the druid scroll, so everything else is still in it.
And I
you broke out.
took the
I took they.
And now you're doing it.
No, I'm fine. I intentionally stopped. I was just telling Xavier what we're only hearing from him.
So just to recap, there was 50 gold pieces, which was looted, 10 pounds of adamantine ore, which a different player also looted, brewing supplies in a brewer's pouch, also looted, a sundial, which I don't remember if anyone took, and the scroll written in Druidic was taken by Xavier. So there's nothing in there. There's either nothing in there or just the sundial, because literally everyone took something from the chest.
And I missed out.
I missed that too. So, I took only the gold out and I tossed out the scroll, but
Joseph's just gonna look at the king, going, "Well, whoever made the construct, which we'll probably never know now that it's destroyed, Your Highness, clearly wanted to keep this pathway to this apartment a secret, and clearly had two tunnels, one leading here, and one I would assume the Elven King, the Elven throne room, but I we have yet to explore that, so I'm not 100% certain that's exactly where it leads.
and I never truly understood this the thing about the sundial. King here. I mean, heck, I've been researching something called a water clock, where it drips at specific intervals.
A water clock would be of no use to me. It's easy enough to tell time just by looking outside.
Yeah, but there's the thing about the sundial that was found in here. He pulls up the sundial.
Isn't a sundial another way of like telling time?
You can add the magic sundial to your inventory if you want to look at it and examine what it does.
All right.
You would have to turn on homebrew, of course. You'd like to discuss something with my mage? Well, of course. You're an honored adventurer, and he's in his tower, as he always is. But do knock before trying to walk up. There is a armed guard of sentient mannequins that will attack you on sight if you are impolite. The king was reminding you, Xavier, that the Astashan has his tower guarded by constructs, so to knock first, otherwise you'll probably get dogpiled by constructs.
Uh,
You're technically still with us. You haven't left yet.
Don't leave quite just yet. I do have one or two things I want to go over. I just want you to give you guys a chance to say what you want to say before I continue.
all right. Like, Shorad holds up the sundial, going, "Well, this seems rather interesting." Like, okay, there is no direct sunlight, right? I can hear right.
Yes, there is no direct sunlight indoors. There's just a bunch of ambient light from distant windows in other rooms. But despite this, the sundial that you're holding in your hands strongly casts a shadow on the exact hour of the day and also displays the exact position of the sun.
Huh. Now this is rather interesting. I think maybe bring it up to Astashan, because I wonder if it can be used in complete darkness.
You can make an Arcana check if you want to check, or you can just talk to Astashan in a little bit and ask him directly.
I'll check first.
All right, feel free to roll. You're almost entirely positive the express purpose of this sundial is so that you know what time it is and the position of the sun while you're busy underground or somewhere dark.
Huh. Wonder who made it. He's gonna turn it over to see if you can find any markings that would denote the one who crafted.
The only significant markers on the sundial, aside from the hours, is a phrase that says, "Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be."
Huh.
Judging by the two hands wrapped around a heart etched into the front, it looks like this was a gift. It seems like a relatively innocuous trinket one person might give another friend.
Huh. Interesting. He pockets it.
Out of character. That doesn't sound like anything a character would do. I don't see you giving that to a friend. What friend? You don't really make friends very well.
I make allies.
After burning down an orphanage.
Hey, that's how we got our name.
And I hate it all the same.
can't call us the Amiable Arsonists because the fact of the matter is, Shorehead is not amiable one bit.
He did, though.
Moving right along.
So Joseph's gonna look at King Rex and kind of give a bow, like, well, we did accomplish what we set out to do, and we managed to discover something very important, whether it be intentional by accident, but we did fulfill our end of the deal.
Yes, you did defeat this terrible monstrosity even before the sun had managed to set. So, as per our agreement, here is the deed to the barony. He will sign it off, hand it over, and then say, before you leave, there's a meeting I'd like you to sit in on.
All right.
You see...
Joseph will take the
Sorry, go ahead. So, real quick, say everything you want to say because I do need to get to this next meeting.
Yeah. Joseph's just gonna say all right, and he'll take the deed.
Okay. So, the meeting begins. They were actually in the middle of setting it up, and they're actually relatively glad that you're there because you guys get to vote. You see, gentlemen, the previous Jarl has been taken into custody, and it is our duty as the king and my fellow barons and Jarls of the land and our esteemed adventurers to choose a new Jarl, someone who will govern the city itself. So, we have a handful of candidates that I would like you all to interview, and then we will pick from these three.
All right.
So the first man comes up. He is a battle-hardened man covered in far more weapons than he has hands, plate armor, a shield, and an absolutely ruthless glare on his face at all times. And he steps into the podium to give his speech as to why he should be the Jarl of this land. He says, "Vote for me. I'm the only man here with enough balls to challenge those candy-ass elves. We should invade while they're weak, sneak through the tunnel we've just discovered, and take them for all they are worth."
Do we really need another Gornet the Strong?
Shorehead just says, I feel personally insulted.
Hard pass from everyone. He rambles on for another 10 or 15 minutes about conquest and glory and nationalism until eventually everyone just starts looking at looking at the time, waiting for him to get done. And the next one comes on stage. You meet Hans the Dramatic. And he just kind of swaggers onto the stage, leaning up against the king's throne like it really should be his. And he goes, why does everyone think politics have to be about war and land and glory and blah, 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 blah? Vote for me, and I'll use our reserves of food and wine to throw a party for everyone. The people will love it, and they'll take their minds off the drought and the starvation and all that icky stuff. Happy peasants are hardworking peasants. We don't need those reserves for emergencies anyway.
Insight check.
Go for it.
And the very first thing that comes out of Shorehead's mouth, he calls him out, "You're a fool!"
Based on what you can tell, it looks like he genuinely does not care about being in power. He just wants the slightest excuse to throw a massive party. And you can also see, based on the iconography on his clothes, that he is a worshiper of Dionysus, the god of hedonism.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, thank you. We already have a friend that worships your god, and he's already handful enough. Thank you. Don't come back. Bye.
And lastly, you were introduced to Hannah the Regal, and she doesn't walk on stage; she storms on stage. She looks like she's already mad at everyone in the room, even though she's spoken to no one the entire time. And she just glares at all the other barons and says, "There are far too many idiots in politics, and I don't care who knows it. The threats of assassination against me are nothing but hot air. We need to do something about this drought yesterday. Vote for me, I'll assemble our army, and I'll put them to work finding water, divining, digging. I don't care if we have to drag it from the ocean itself. Water is what's important, and if you can't see that, you are blind."
Well, someone who knows the situation as it is, how would you go about?
How would I go about it? I'll tell you exactly what I'll do. I'll send our entire armed forces out of Rex City to go look for a stable source of water.
And you would leave Rex City defenseless.
That's not important. The elves have been crippled.
Would we know that?
Well, my reports say that their entire centaur army was wiped out. They'd be idiots to attack us now, so we can safely assume that they won't. We have a better purpose for our armed guards than just standing around looking pretty.
Well, they're also trying to keep the peace, and you sending them away, all of them, mind you, to just find source of water, which I totally agree is something we need, but we need our defenses as well if something were to happen.
Well, here's how I see it. That little construct creature that I've been informed about, he killed the entire centaur army. And you killed him. Therefore, you're more powerful than the entire elven army, so we'll just leave you in town.
Sean immediately starts rubbing at the scar that is on his midsection.
The king looks around and goes, "Is there any other noble-blooded person who qualifies for the position? Anyone at all?" No one steps on stage.
Joseph is like kind of shifty eyed for a moment.
Insight check.
All right. On Hannah the Regal, go for it.
No, I'm Joseph.
Oh. I mean, you can roll if you want to, but I don't know his true intentions because he is a player.
He's just looking about the room quickly, kind of seeing if anyone's gonna get up and stand up or even speak up. You don't know anything beyond.
Paranoid.
Get to voting already.
Alright, but Shora just glares at the woman because he's had bad experiences with women.
All right, guys, cast your votes.
This is with everyone.
So we gotta choose one of these three, and so far, not looking good.
It's like trying to.
I mean, the last one had the appropriate idea, but her methods were not all correct. She needs to slow down, calm down, and think of a more rational way of going about things. But she seems to have the concerns of the people in this drought first.
Yeah, but she comes across as the kind of woman who would use a tidal wave to handle to put out a campfire.
I don't know why you're thinking about this. The two other candidates clearly don't care about the people, and if we want the best for the people, I say her.
True, but again, putting her in the position would leave Rex City defenseless. I'm not saying she isn't the most appropriate candidate, but
Do you have any idea who might be threatening Rexland at the moment? The elves currently are maintaining their peace. There are no danger nearby. I say, if she wants, she can.
well, there is still the risk of the individual that made that underground apartment in those tunnels. So there's still that.
Uh,
It's like sure. It goes well. If the fact of the matter is, I personally have no real hand in these politics, and he points out to the wharf guy. He sounds like he would be more eager to throw himself in a glorious battle against a dragon and probably die just as stupidly like, uh, as it sounds. That one, he points to the bored noble. He would probably be too busy being in a drunken stupor to do anything, and she, like I said, tidal wave campfire.
As you guys are discussing your different options, you can hear a commotion coming from the peasants outside the window.
Ah, Christ of Almighty. I'll take a look to see what's going on.
As you peek your head outside, you see there is an army of attractive young women wearing clothes with Hans's name on it. A handful of them have even painted their faces on their shirts, and they are all chanting his name. And you make eye contact with one of the girls, who then lifts her shirt up.
Joseph will flush and pull his head back in and be like, well, apparently the people.
Sure, I just raises an eyebrow and go on. Huh, not the best I've seen. And he turns.
Dude!
Hans is going to turn to the king and go, I clearly I'm the people's choice. You'd have a riot on your hands if you picked anyone else. Come on, let me just slide into that throne.
Shorad immediately says, "If we were to put you on the throne, you would probably end up drinking the entire country dry within a week. No."
You're adventurers. You can find more food and water. There's no reason we can't splurge and spend our entire reserves. Look at how happy the people are.
I'm going to turn you into a frog right now and toss you down a well.
whoa, don't threaten.
Getting a little hostile here. Joseph's gonna be like, now, gentlemen, there's a simple way to go about this. And honestly, being as there's very little options available to us, and you clearly, as he looks to the noble that's the party guy, you clearly had it set up to where if we didn't choose you, a riot would happen, with all those girls outside. But the fact of the matter is, all three of you, honestly, are poor candidates at best with your decisions. But, and he points to the woman, you have more of the best intentions out of the other two. And I think it would be more beneficial, but I think you need to restrain your aggressiveness. And you weren't wrong when you said we were pretty powerful when we fought the centaur. There are other adventurers. We have an adventurers guild after all. Maybe instead of sending the forces out to find water, put up a post on the bulletin. Give a handsome reward. Encourage adventurers to adventure out and explore the unknown to find us a source of water.
Shorad looks to the human. The human's right. Human pretty boy that is intimidated by breasts is right.
A stray, "We love you, Hans!" comes through the window. And you see Hana ignores the cheering women. And in fact, she walks over to the window and just pulls the curtain shut, visibly annoyed by by the girls about her age going absolutely nuts for Hans. She goes, "Listen, adventures are expensive. And our army has been sitting on their thumbs for far too long. Everyone thinks an invasion is coming every day. Invasion, invasion, invasion. And it never comes. The elves have better things to do. It is cheaper and faster and safer to send our entire army out doing the work that these expensive adventurers do."
Fair point.
He holds up a hand for Joseph. As much as, yeah, but the fact of the matter is, when you send a bunch of incompetent soldiers out to look for water, you would end up running the risk of getting false reports, false positives, and a bunch of other false stuff, and end up just wasting everyone's time. And well, as much as at war, yet it doesn't happen, it still might happen. So imagine something for me real quick. Have you ever been to Arsonists?
"You say our soldiers are incompetent? Hachiman, you're a 5-star general. Are our soldiers incompetent?" And to answer that question without directly answering it, he pulls out an axe and smashes a table.
You fucked up. Joseph's gonna be like, well, if you're so sure they can get the job done without, like, say, the talents and skills of an adventurer, I have no problem. But I wouldn't say all our forces, though.
Smashing a table is almost fine. But a soldier rarely stands still, for one, and for two, where I come from, a fair fight is meant for dead people, and
Joseph's gonna hold up a hand, going, "How about this? We recently came into Gornet's estate and army. What if we used our newly found troops, the ones we three have attained, to go search for water and we will aid in the search as well as much as we can, while also keeping our main forces here. Would that be to your satisfaction?"
"I have no issue with you going to look for water, but you will do it for anywhere from free to a few gold coins. Adventurers are too expensive."
I never said I was going to accept payment. Being as we have now a position as Arl, which one of us still needs to be a representation of that, this situation concerns us, so I was not expecting a fee.
And here I have heard the first reasonable sentence all day long. Fair. If you adventurers assist Gornet the Strong's former faction in finding water, without charging us an exorbitant fee like your people are known to do, then I will leave the remainder of the army home to stand guard.
Alright, that sounds fair. But I do have one condition.
We'll see how reasonable this condition is then.
Being as we will be in search, our land will get the first portion of the water. That is it.
Well, I suppose you are founding a brand new barony. You can definitely have a portion of it, first dibs, but I swear on every god, if you abuse that privilege, I will personally come for your heads.
I'd have it no other way, madam, as he gives a kind bow and stands back up and looks to Rexland. I believe we found a candidate.
If what she says is true, she gets my vote.
Because Shora just walks out because this place is just making his teeth itch.
I don't know what that means.
No one does. We just roll with
I get the term I got from a book. Somehow makes the impossible possible.
All right.
I rolled a 9 to incite itching teeth.
Well, you rolled the 9, so neither of us know what it means. All right, and do you guys want to try to persuade anyone else in the voting room to come to your side, or do you just want to let them vote as they please?
Let me see.
I'll attempt to convince some of them because I'm afraid they'll vote for the.
Yeah, I'll basically put in my 2 cents as well to let them know that we need someone who has a level head, knows the concerns, and cares for her people as much as the kingdom.
As you're reading the room, you can see that Jacqueline and Daniel Ironfist are both eyeing the handsome Hans the Dramatic. You're almost positive that unless their minds are swayed, they're going to vote for him and vote for him hard.
Hmm.
So if you want to roll persuasion, you absolutely can and try to change their minds.
Oi, they
Hell yeah.
Joseph, can you roll with advantage and I'm helping you because my persuasion is.
I have a +5 to persuasion, so because I'm an expert at it. So.
Thank you. My charisma is negative.
All right, with Xavier backing up everything you say like a proper hype man, you have advantage to persuade.
16. That's a fairly average one.
So you take a few minutes to talk to the king and the barons that are in the room, and you're fairly confident that you've persuaded the king, and you've persuaded the merchant Barbara Westminster, but Jacqueline and Daniel Ironfist are unconvinced.
Huh. I will sort of roll for deception to see if I can't spread false information about this guy.
Bro, that's amazing.
Let's see. To make someone's teeth itch means to annoy them? To get on their nerves? That is such a bizarre phrase. I love it.
You know what? You could also annoying the shit out of me. Same me.
Yeah, but this is more awesome.
Alright, so I'm. No, I can't. I would slander our position, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spread rumors. However, out of some morbid curiosity, I'm going to start asking around about this guy. Any information I can get. Because I do not like this guy.
You can definitely do that after the vote, but they are voting right now.
Alright, fair enough.
So, unless you have anything else you want to say to the people, there are two military generals who vote immediately for Hachiman. The Daniel Ironfist of Vito and Jacqueline both vote for Hans. The king and Bobbert Westminster vote for Hannah the Regal, persuaded by your words. How are the rest of you voting?
Sure, it's not there. He abstained. Politics make his teeth itch.
Me and Joseph already decided on who will.
So the two of you submitting your own votes break the tie, and Hannah the Regal becomes the new Jarl, essentially mayor of Rex City.
Congratulations.
Alright, my first edict as ruler is to send everyone looking for water. Adventurers, we're going to take Gornet's army and search. Let's move out!
Alright. Let's sound the troops. Xavier?
Alright, so they are moving out immediately. You can follow them, or you can meet up with them later after you take care of some of your personal things. So, Shorad, what are you doing?
Shorad's gonna go, he's gonna go and knock on, Astashan's door.
Alright, it takes about 5 minutes for him to climb down all 5 flights of stairs and deactivate all of his minions. And then he unlocks all 8 padlocks and pokes his head out through the door.
Hello, Astashan. Shorad, you probably already know me. Shorad, Jellica.
Ah yes, a fellow wizard. Come, come. It's always good to have mage company in the tower.
Alright, he takes his dagger out, tosses it on the ground so to be the usual entrance when entering on neutral ground for Drow.
Alright, is anyone else joining Shorad in the tower, by the way?
I think Xavier was, at least.
Yep, me.
Okay. So, Shorad, you and Xavier walk up all 5 flights, and you see that as you climb to the top of Astashan's tower, he's got what looks to be a funerary table set up, and there's what looks to be a man's shape, but it's covered in fungus.
Huh. I leave it alone, and now there are a couple questions I want to ask about you. Ask from you, Astashan, if it's all right.
Ask away, I'm here to help. That is my job.
All right. What do you know about lifting curses? Particularly god curses.
Well, lifting minor curses is something anyone can do, but you're saying god curses? Oof, that'd be tough even for me.
All right. Would the college have any books regarding this sort of thing?
Well, the college has more books than I do. I took a semester there. Didn't like it. Pretentious assets, if you ask me.
I will have to agree with you. I mean, heck, I had to try and talk to someone without a lower jaw. How do you do magic without a lower jaw?
You know, the worst of them all is that Bun. Professor Hoppinsworth is the most bleeding heart liberal I've ever met in my life. He is obnoxious.
Oh, jeez, don't get me started on obnoxious. Well, at least one good thing is that he doesn't try and stab you, does he?
Bun, no, he couldn't if he tried. He's 1 foot tall.
He actually starts laughing when he has to imagine him with a dagger that I thought would be about as big as him. Trying to stab someone in the ankle.
I genuinely despise rabbit folk. They're so obnoxious.
Huh. I don't really have much rabbit fuck from where I'm from. It's just mainly drow and spiders.
Honestly, I'd prefer the spiders.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it either. Anyway, because they're sooner to spin you up and just bleed you dry before you as to have tea with you.
Well, our druid friends. I haven't seen you in a while. Is there something I can do for you?
Suppose you can say that. When we were out exploring the room that Construct was protecting, I happened, well, I didn't find it. Shorad here found, but it's quite weird, to say the least.
Something weird? My friend, I'm a court wizard. Weird doesn't really apply.
Well, I hope so. Do you by any chance happen to speak Druidic?
I can cast comprehend languages, so I suppose.
Well, guess I'll give it to you so you can give it a read. I just hand it over so he can give it.
He will, if you're offering the scroll, he'll take it and kind of haphazardly toss it onto his bookshelf.
I'm not offering it. This is a read right now situation.
Read right now. Fine, fine. My vision is failing me in my old age. He'll conjure up a monocle and pull out the scroll and go, Druidic. Oh. Oh. Question. No one has seen a volcano anywhere, have they? I need to dispose of something.
Hmm. I would think that is a good idea, but I would recommend we keep it for the time being.
What possible good could come from keeping this, friend?
Well, it's evidence, and maybe it could help us figure out who's been doing.
I didn't hear you. What?
Oh, okay. Well, it is evidence, and it could help us catch who's doing this.
Am I just deaf? Did anyone else hear him?
Uh,
Fading in and out.
he said it's. I can't remember the first bit, but it's secret information that it could probably help us out.
Thank you.
Well, some secrets are meant to stay secret. This needs to be destroyed, preferably with fire.
As a druid talking to a wizard, I'm surprised you're saying that. I thought you were fascinated by that.
Fascinated, yes. Terrified, rarely, but I am currently terrified.
Don't you want to study it?
Do I want to see it? No, I don't want to see this in action. It'll kill us all!
I said study it, not see it.
Okay, I'm turning you up to max volume. I cannot hear you.
All right, I'll speak more accurately. Do you want to study it?
Oh, I did study it, and I hate it.
Well, you're gonna be taking it. I suppose I should get paid.
Whatever Furbolg Druid wrote this has a death wish for us all. I recommend finding him and axing his head off.
That's why I recommend we keep it.
Keep it, it's not a pet. It's an apocalypse.
Don't worry, it will be safe with me.
Oh god, we're all gonna die.
Make a persuasion check, because he is pretty intent on destroying it.
Damn it! You suck so much. All right, I forgot.
It's exclamation point C persuasion.
Yeah, boy. I'm pretty sure I'm convinced him.
You see him dimension door the fuck out. You can smell brimstone as he poofs away.
Did he leave?
Yeah, Astashan has left the building.
Did he not even just teleport the scroll? He actually left.
He grabbed the scroll which you gave him and left.
God damn it.
Shorad goes, well, that's one of the first times I actually saw you talk a wizard into leaving you. Wonder if that's a talent.
Many.
Attempted on Shred! Attempted on Shred!
Ah, if it was that easy. Well, since he left, I suppose we.
You are in Astashan's tower, completely unsupervised.
And I'm not there?
Nope.
Joseph.
Yeah, Shorad's gonna try and peruse his collection of books.
Xavier's gonna keep an eye on him so he doesn't steal anything.
Oh, so it would have been pointless. You would have prevented me from stealing as well. God, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Nah, I wouldn't have because he stole my scroll. I was showing it to him. He just teleported away. So it's going to be like a 1-for-1 thing.
You can see there is a what isn't locked behind, chests and whatnot. What's publicly visible is what looks to be a catalog of all of the wizard spells he's found over years. There's a catalog of all the laws in Rexland, which are bookmarked and tattered and well worn, and there's like red underline and highlighter all over the text with like complaints about various laws, especially the ones about not sacrificing people to turn them into pure magic. Like, what a dick. Who does that? Who makes that illegal? And there is an expansive catalog of boys love fanfiction.
Oh god!
He's gonna skip over those. He's gonna see if he has any books on the Pantheon, on the gods.
It's all in alphabetical order. So you can there's one book that looks to be handmade, titled simply "The Pricks Who Keep Getting in My Way," and you see a series of symbols written on the cover, symbols of various lawful good deities.
Huh. He's gonna take the one that puts. He's gonna pull out that one along with the one on Wolf.
There's a very thin, almost like, keychain pocketbook about Lolth. This one you have seen many times before. It's the sort of moral code that the Drow live by. You've read this book 100 times.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go put this back so it's not helpful. He's gonna crack open the book on the pricks to get in my way.
About 40% of the book is complaining about Lathander, and 30% of it is complaining about Bahamut, and then there's a tiny section devoted to the other miscellaneous gods. And it's not really useful information about the gods themselves, but the various ways in which they have stopped him from doing genuinely horrible things all in the name of magic and science that he complains extensively really weren't all that bad.
Huh. Turn someone's organs into stuffed rabbits. That is a weird thing to go for. Although the fact of the matter is, this is actually rather interesting. Apparently, one can live without a spleen and a part of your liver missing without those. So, okay. He's gonna put it back.
Xavier gets bored and he leaves.
Oh, this is not very helpful. So, I'm gonna. Although as he goes across the moss, he's gonna be curious. He's gonna. Say, I'm gonna check if I detect magic.
Alright, we're going to put you guys on pause really quick so I can hop on over to Joseph.
Yay.
So, Joseph, you and Morgan are able to follow Hans the Dramatic fairly easily. You don't even roll for stealth. No one gives a shit about you. He is swarmed by fangirls who are like, "Aw, poor baby, you didn't get to be him." He is just surrounded by women giving him presents, kissing him, massaging his shoulders. He didn't get to be Jarl, but he's living La Vida Loca over here.
Joseph is going to be very, very annoyed and go, this is why I don't like most nobles. At least this is one of the reasons.
That is exactly what it looks like in that gif. He is just swarmed. As far as Hannah has set off westward. She appears to be marching an army towards in the direction of the western coast to look for water.
Alright, so that means I don't get a chance to get any information from her about Hans. Do any of the other nobles share anything, or do they like, yeah, fuck off?
If you want to catch up to her, you'd probably either have to find her or summon a horse, or just run really goddamn fast. But she hasn't left the city limits yet. So if you want to try and catch up to her, you can. But she's heading to the barony of Westminster looking for water.
Alright, well, I'm going to have Morgan go kind of like find her and tell her to slow down as I go to catch up with her. So have Morgan go ahead of me as I make my way toward her.
If you want to attempt to catch up with her and her army, which has a head start, make me either an athletics or an acrobatics check to sprint full tilt. Because she is moving and she is moving quickly.
Alright. Well, here goes my acrobatics. Cunning action. I'm trying to see if there's anything I might have that might give me advantage in acrobatics. No, probably not until I get higher, maybe. So, here we go. Oh, never mind. I did not need that advantage.
All right. So, you were able to sprint up and catch up to Hannah, and you can see herself and all of the soldiers have divining rods in their hands, little L-shaped pieces of metal that they're wandering around the city limits, entering the barony with, trying to find groundwater. They are unsuccessful at this time.
I'm gonna approach her. Gonna approach Hana, going, "Hail, Anna. I have some questions. If you are willing to give me the."
She goes, "I will humor you if you help me search for water," and she hands you a pair of divining rods.
I'll take them, and I'll start helping out.
All right, what do you need? I'm busy. Make it brief.
It's about Hans. He caught my attention mostly through. Uh, he troubles me. This is essentially what I'm getting at. I was curious if you knew anything about him.
Personally, I can't stand the guy. Indirectly, and of her own poor decision making, my sister ended up dead because of him.
Dead, you say? I'm sorry for your loss.
She was trying to sneak into his house. She was climbing on the roof of his very large estate. She slipped off the roof and landed on her head.
Oh, so it was, so it wasn't directly by him.
Well, it's his fault for slicking the roof. Apparently, he was trying to deter thieves, so he keeps the tiles oiled so they slide right off.
Interesting. Hmm. Well, is there anything else you can tell me about him that, like, has he done any dirty deals in the past? Maybe he's done horrible things to women behind closed doors.
Insofar as I can tell, everything he's done with these women, however vulgar and unappetizing, has been consensual. He seems to be well loved and respected. I wouldn't really consider him evil, just chaotic and selfish.
All right. Well, better to have you all in the position as mayor than him, at least. But as long as he's not doing anything evil intentionally, I shouldn't. I should be able to rest easier. As I start trying to use these things, I was like trying to use these things to find water, these rods, and I want to see actually if I can have my patron aid me in this.
Remind me what the name of your patron is?
Um, where's that name? I had to. The Queen of Night and the Queen of Night and Magic. Fuck, you gave me the name. What did I do with the name?
I think it should be in your backstory. I'm browsing through it right now. All right, I don't think you ever actually said her name in your. There we go. Sarasta Aestrom, Queen of Night and Magic.
Ah,
Yes, make a religion. Since she's the Queen of Magic and this is a magical object, I'd like you to make a religion check to see if she'd be willing to point you in the right direction.
all right. Good God, my religion shit. Oh, here's. Oh, hey.
Um, you don't hear anything per se, but you feel a rumbling under your feet, and you can feel these divining rods, excuse me, sharply tug in one direction, off to your right.
I'll follow the direction and be like, and look to Hana, be like, I think I might have something.
Hannah will follow you and command the men to follow along. Their divining rods wiggle slightly, but yours is very strong, magically enhanced, pointing you in a specific direction.
Yeah, I continue to follow it until it like starts pointing me either downward or stops. Like if we found, like as we found this.
You end up being taken to Bobbert Westminster's house. You see, he was following the group mostly just because that was the direction of his home, and right at the fence of his property, your divining rods start going apeshit, swinging side to side violently.
How big is the fence?
These divining rods are probably freaking out in about a 20-foot diameter radius around the front gate. Like 10 feet in front, 10 feet behind, you would estimate.
Uh, no. Joseph's gonna look at Hana going, I think our source of water is right here in front of these gates. At least that's what I'm getting at. I'm not used to using these, my lady.
Well, there's only one thing to do if you found water, and that is to dig. Men, get your shovels!
I will help in the assistance of digging.
They all put their divining rods away and start digging with their shovels. It is laborious and exhausting work. I'd like you to make a con save to not get exhausted before you're done.
And surprisingly enough, my con modifier is pretty decent for a rogue. 11.
You do make it to the bottom of this magically hinted at location without passing out, but you do take one level of exhaustion. As you reach the bottom eventually with the rest of the men before the men all hit something rock solid with their shovels. And as you sort of pound your shovel against it, it kind of sounds like bedrock or concrete or some hard stone.
Huh. That's interesting. I'm gonna have everyone climb out, and I'm going to climb out myself, and I'm gonna aim at the stone with Eldritch Blast, seeing if I can't like get it to burst out.
You're going to, so that's a cantrip which you're going to blast at the stone until it breaks, correct?
Yes.
As you stand there on the stone, shooting, I'm assuming directly below your feet, right?
No. I want to climb out. I don't want to freaking burst a hole in this and have the water spurt me out like in those cartoons. I'm getting out of the hole and I'm shooting.
So this hole is about 60 feet deep. You intelligently climb out of the hole and shoot from where it's safe. It takes several minutes to break this sort of stone barrier, which you see is a layer of naturally occurring bedrock. And as you finally break through the bedrock layer, this geyser of water shoots 120 feet up in the air from the bedrock and starts showering you all. It feels supernatural on how good it feels to be moist and cool in this hot, dry climate.
As I'm feeling like this water hit me, and god damn it, as I'm feeling the water like rain on me and whatnot, I'm just gonna close my eyes and basically whisper to myself, saying, it's basically to my patron, thank you, my lady. And look to Hana and be like, well, that was quick and easy.
You see the Baron has mysteriously disappeared, and you can hear a rumbling sound from below the water.
Below me?
You can see that this geyser starts to expand, and the bedrock starts to crack. Not from the force of the geyser, but just in general. There's these loud thuds followed by cracks. Thud, crack, thud, crack. Bits of bedrock start to sink below the water. Something is escaping.
This is not good. I'm going to bonus action hide.
Roll for it.
Oh fuck! I get dissed, don't I? Unless it says otherwise.
No, you get this because you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck.
That would
Damn!
have
I
been
missed a nat 20.
as the bedrock falls in, the geyser stops, and the water level you see in the water, it looks like clean water, which quickly turns black as if smoke is billowing out from beneath the water level.
Uh-oh.
Is there anything you would like to do before whatever is in there decides it doesn't want to be there anymore?
Let's see. I'm gonna have Morgan kind of fly high away enough to basically be unseen, but still be able to see what it is that's coming out, what's going on, give me a better layout of things that are happening. As I continue to hide, but I'm also going to detect magic thanks to my evocation.
Alright, let me look that up really quickly. Alright, even though you don't, strictly speaking, need detect magic to know that there is some sort of magical shenaniganery going around, you do see all of this black, smoky substance that's staining the water glow violet with a magical aura. The water itself doesn't appear to be magical, but the smoke coming from below appears intensely magical. This magical aura appears to be at least as strong as you are.
Well, and I'm alone, so I'm going to communicate to Morgan, going, find the others, bring them here. This could get ugly. As I continue to hide and watch from the shadows, because I'm not going to lose this thing. And
Alright, so we're going to put you on pause. Xavier, Shorad, what are you doing at this moment?
Well, sure, that's curious about the moss covered thing, and he's going to cast detect magic as a ritual on it.
Your voice was drowned out by a vehicle. You were casting detect magic on what?
Detect magic on the moss covered thing.
Oh, you're talking about the man-shaped figure covered in mushrooms?
Yep.
You're able to determine that there's definitely magic afoot, but it's very weak druidic magic. Something that Aztashan, as far as you know, doesn't know how to cast druidic magic.
Curious. The Messiah's got the pry and he just heads out the door.
So you're just gonna leave it alone and leave the building?
Well, the fact of the matter is, odds are, if he has it somewhere like that, it's probably really important.
I suppose that's a fair assessment. How about you, Xavier?
Well, Xavier had left beforehand. Just went to. He has nothing to do, so he's gonna attempt and look for Joseph.
Alright. So as the two of you sort of wander around outside of the tower, not not strictly speaking really investigating the place or stealing anything, just sort of leaving sleeping dogs as they lie, you can hear a rumbling sound, and as you look over in the distance, over in the direction of the Westminster Barony, there is smoke coming out in the distance, as if something is on fire.
Alright, what? Hey, Sean's gone. Alright, what the idiots do now?
Fuck, I feel like my pixie's being unhelpful.
As you look in that direction, you can see that you said you sent a pixie, right, Joseph?
Yeah, Morgan was still in the form of a pixie. I haven't turned her back into a cat, so I basically told her go find.
As you guys look over in that direction, you see a pixie coming from that direction. You recognize it as one of Joseph's summons.
Oh, so he was involved. Fun.
Joseph, can you speak through the pixie? Like, is that a thing that you can do?
I cannot, but as a pixie, she knows Common, Elven, and Sylvan. She can speak.
Okay, I will have you roleplay as the pixie, and then Sherrod and Xavier, you can talk to the pixie.
Alright.
Okay.
The little pixie flies up to the both of you and goes, "Come quick! Trouble is afoot. We found water, but something emerged with the water."
What emerged with it?
So far, we don't know for sure. It's something like black smoke.
Not the time for questions. Just show us where we need to go.
This way! As she turns around and starts flying at your guys' level to lead you to where Joseph.
In order to get there in any meaningful time frame, you can roll athletics or acrobatics to sprint over there.
I'm tempted to be a dick and have Sherrod just walk there, but he's gonna go grab a horse.
All right. If you grab a, do you have a horse?
No, but I imagine I can go find a livery stable. Not to find the livery stable.
Yes, there are definitely stables around. One moment. Yes, there is a stable within walking distance selling draft horses. I'm pulling up the cost for one of those bad boys as we speak. It's 25 gold pieces if you want to buy it, 5 gold pieces if you want to rent it for 48 hours.
That's right now. He'll press 5 gold pieces into the person's hand and he'll get on the horse.
Take care of her. She's a rental.
No promises, and he gallops off.
The draft horse, easily able to cross this distance in no time. You pass Xavier as he's sprinting. He got a head start, but you easily catch up to him. Do you pull Xavier onto the horse's back or let him run?
I'll let him run. He didn't have the foresight to do that.
Fucking prick.
So, Xavier, you get left behind, and it takes you several minutes to get on the scene. Sherrod and Joseph, the two of you meet up. The draft horse, as soon as it gets within eyeshot of the smoke, it freaks out and bucks you off. I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw to not get trampled as it starts losing its shit.
Karma.
As it bucks you off, you tumble forwards, land on your feet, and skid to a stop. The draft horse starts to run away. This is a rental, and you will be fined if it gets away.
Can I attempt an animal handler to make it calm down?
Actually, Xavier, this horse is running directly to you. I'm going to need you to make an animal handling check to not get immediately run over.
Alright.
Nice.
This horse was running twice as fast away as it was towards, so it gets to you in no time. You're able to spend a moment or two with it, calm it down, pet its nose, and it relaxes. You can see that this horse looks like it's been through something traumatic.
Oh, I pet it and tell it I'm gonna give it an apple after I'm done. Even though it probably doesn't understand.
Alright, using your general charisma when it comes to animals and your druidic nature, You're able to calm it down, and it will allow you to ride it if you choose to.
Now this is enough. I'll just tell it to stay here as we got to save our dumb friend.
All right. So while that is happening, Shorat and Joseph, you can see the smoke is starting to take what looks like human form, and this human form is swimming towards the edge of this waterhole.
I'm gonna continue to hide because I don't know if this thing's friendly or not, and I'm gonna have my Morgan because I just looked at the fucking sheet for the pixies, and no, it's a sprite, not a pixie, but the sprite. It has the ability to go invisible. I'm gonna make her turn invisible.
Well, she's tiny. She can always hide behind you.
I have a different method with her at the moment, so.
Shorat, the drow wizard, you can see this bubbling smoke figure coalesce in a human form. What do you do?
Oh, he's gonna take Joseph's advice just by existing and hide himself.
All right, you can certainly make a stealth check if you would like to.
I think I'm hidden with a 13.
All right, so Shorat, you rolled a 16, and then Joseph got a 13, correct?
Yep.
All right, the two of
How
you.
far is Xavier?
Pardon?
How far is Xavier?
You're about a minute or two away. You'll be joining them shortly. But at the moment, you can see the soldiers that came with to divine for water all start to gather around the circle with their shields raised and their swords at the ready. And you can hear water start to bubble up. And within the matter of moments, the water level has risen all the way to the surface, and reeds start to grow around their feet. These reeds grab them by the ankles and start pulling them into the dirt. You see as they jam their swords in and try to resist, but they are all pulled underground.
Um, fuck. So they're already pulled underground, aren't they? Like it's done. There's no stopping.
It's kind of like quicksand. They're being pulled. They can't get out on their own. If you want to save them, you're going to have to act fast.
Fuck, there's nothing I have that can actually help in pulling them out. So I'm gonna do probably a dumb thing. I'm gonna jump out of the open, kind of look at this humanoid figure that might still be in the water, and I'm going to shout in Sylvan, "Stop! We mean no harm."
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage, my friend.
Yep, fucking exhaustion. Oh, damn, nice!
Just as the men are neck deep in wet soil, it suddenly stops. You can see a figure step out of the soil. Waiting between the reeds and the suddenly high water level, you see what looks to be a female child with glowing white eyes. You can see that as she reaches the surface, it's only late afternoon, but the sky goes dark. The sun is still in the sky, but it's like someone's turning its level down.
Joseph is gonna kind of like stand there non-threateningly and kind of make a sigh of relief and say, "We were only searching for water. We had no idea you were there. We had no intention of harm." And this is still in Sylvan.
She speaks to you in Sylvan. You have disturbed my resting place.
Forgive me. We weren't aware. Like, we had no idea. We were just searching for water, being as we're going through a drought and we are running dry on water ourselves. Had we known, we would not have disturbed you. I give you my word as a servant of the Queen of the Magic and Night.
I lived in the lake that used to be here, but after the drought I was forced underground like some common pest. I can smell the anger and the lethal intent in these men's eyes. I feel threatened, and I do not want to be threatened!
Again, we mean you no harm. I swear to you. We do not wish to threaten you. We do not wish to hurt you any or anything. We just need water as well. Is there
Xavier,
anything? Is there anything we could do to ease your stress, like make you feel calm?
as you ask her that question, she doesn't immediately respond. She's eyeing you, studying you, trying to examine if your words carry any weight to them. As she pauses, Xavier, you slowly, exhaustedly jog onto the scene, finally catching up with the rest of the party.
Uh, do I notice she's not attacking right now?
Yes, she is clearly not attacking. You can see that
Alright.
everywhere she steps, reeds grow from underneath her feet.
What grow?
Reeds, like cattails. Like, you ever been near a lake and there's a bunch of cattail plants?
Yep.
We don't have lakes here.
Right, you're in the desert.
Exactly. I'll just assume it's what's behind her in the picture. Am I right?
Yes, she has. There are
Alright.
reeds within the picture itself.
I wave at Joseph because I don't know what to do.
What did you say? Like, what were you saying to my character?
So he just waves at you.
Joseph kind of noticed you at a glance, kind of like waves his hand down, like a back off a bit, and he kind of looks back at the entity.
Xavier does as he says and backs off.
All right, Shorad, you are still hidden. Do you continue to stay silent and hidden, or do you join in?
He stays silent and hidden. He's having flashbacks to the construct that bisected him.
Ugh. Yeah.
Over exaggerating. You only died one amateur hour.
Oh yeah. So Joseph's gonna like watch and the entity, and to kind of help ease, make her feel at ease, he's gonna drop down to his knees and kind of place his hands on the ground and be like, "What can I do to help you?" And in Sylvan, of course.
Help me? You can help me by leaving me alone, or lifting this wretched curse.
Curse. I don't have the means to remove it, but I can surely find a way to do so. And I know I have a companion who's skilled at magic, and we have access to a wizard's tower that has various spells. I'm sure we can help you remove this curse.
It is so cold and dark underground. I want to return to being human.
We can. I can help with that. As insurance, actually, I'll send my companions to go to the mage tower to see if they can't find a means of lifting this curse, whether it means by spell or item, and I'll be your prisoner, if need be.
You see reeds grow around your ankles and up your legs. They're tight, but not painfully so. Just meant to hold you in place.
Yeah, I'm on my knees, so basically I'm not standing up anytime soon, so I do not resist. I kind of nod in a direction with a smile, and I look over my shoulder at the others, going and say in common, "See if you can't find a magical means to remove this curse."
What?
Was that a joke for the what, or was he like genuinely like dumbfounded at what
He's
he's doing?
dumbfounded, but it's up to you whether or not he thinks that.
Joseph's gonna be like, "You heard me. We're helping this entity. Try to see if you can't find a way to remove a curse."
I don't mind
Well,
helping, but I would have suggested the wizard, but uh, well, he's not at his tower at the moment.
I know who to get. Quick question.
What's up?
Yeah.
Can she? Well, this question will lead into the next one. Can she understand common?
So far, she has only spoken in Sylvan. Do you attempt to speak to her in common?
He's using Joseph as a mouthpiece.
So you're wanting me to ask her if she speaks common?
Yeah.
Joseph's gonna be like, "I'd rather not antagonize her any further, but if you insist," I look toward her and be like, and say in Sylvan, "Do you know common tongue?"
I used to know common, but that right was taken away from me. My name is, and her words get magically distorted. Like there's this grinding of like flint against steel, muting her words.
Oh shit. Joseph will relay this information back to Sharad and basically say that he couldn't catch her name. It was distorted by some magical sound or force.
Nope. Ask her how this happened. More information I know, the easier it might be to actually figure out the nature of the curse just to get rid of it.
Joseph nods, understanding what he's trying to get at, and going, "Forgive the questions," as he says in Sylvan to the entity. "My friend is trying to discern the effects of your curse. That way we can better understand it and remove it. Do you know when and how this happened?"
I have been cursed for many years. This curse was laid upon me on false pretenses. I was accused of murder by my father. My father is, and you hear this grinding of stone on steel, silencing the name.
I repeat everything she said, but I stop at the name and I just look at him going, "It's distorted."
All right, I'm she was accused of murder. All right, I'm gonna. All right, I will be back as soon as I can. Xavier,
Yes,
did you manage to grab the horse?
yes,
All right, I'm gonna go use it. Keep Christoph. Keep the mask boy company.
I'm not even wearing a mask. I'm not even wearing my Phantom outfit. And I gotta say now, because I probably should have said this at the start of the session, I've never once, as far as I know, I gotta go back and re-watch the videos. I never once said my name was Joseph Kristoff. I wrote down my name. Actually, I think I introduced myself to Gregory and Xavier because we were doing the gambling bit, but I've been going by John Doe this entire time.
Okay, I didn't know. Like, Gabe Company with John. Gabe John Company.
All right. I don't mind.
So, Shorad, you're going to grab the horse and run back to town. Who are you trying to get in touch with?
Well, first, see if we can get a hold of Astashan, because he has the history. He might know a bit more about the stuff than he does. And if not, he'll talk to the 1 foot tall rabbit.
All right. As you go back to the Wizard's Tower, the mannequins are disabled just like they were previously. And as you get to the top of the tower, you get to Astashan's room, and you hear your character doesn't know what a plasma torch sounds like, but I'm assuming you, the character, does. But you can hear that loud jet stream, high-speed fire sort of sound coming from the room.
He politely knocks on the wall to get his attention.
One moment, working with fire, do not move.
I will not.
You can hear crashing, sliding, sloshing, just general sounds that feel like they should not belong in a wizard's tower. And you can hear the locks come undone, and you can see Astashan, a very powerful but small flame coming out of his finger like a plasma torch. And he's wearing a welding mask, and he's covered in soot. And he opens the door and says, "You may come in, but be careful. I have made a mess."
He raises an eyebrow and goes, and he shrugs his shoulder before going in. I got a as he's going up. I got a quick question. I gotta run past you.
Well, it is my job to help. What can I do for you?
How long have you been a court wizard?
Since I was 10.
And how old are you now?
110.
Wow. He, as he's climbing up the stairs, he says, "Well, has there actually been well, we found water, but the place we found it is with this, there was a strange, I believe, woman, I'm not 100% on that, and apparently she was cursed, under false pretenses. You know anything about that?"
Well, I've handed out a few curses myself. I have uncursed a few people, but I'm going to need a lot more information. Curses come in a lot of varieties, you know. We wizards are very creative.
I know that. What we ended up talking to was this weird smoke creature that everywhere she stepped was turned into reeds. And apparently she was forced underground like some kind of pest.
I am familiar with that genre of curse. Turning someone into the Queen of the Reeds is a very cruel punishment.
Alright, well, that's who we ended up finding, and it's with that one manor. I actually forgot the guy's name.
Well, the problem with that curse is that it's in order to inflict that curse upon someone, you have to put something of extreme value on the line, which must be destroyed in order to break the curse. Some people put their lives, some people put their children, some people put valuable objects. Whatever the curse is tied to must be destroyed. You need to find who placed the curse, find out what they used to bind it, and destroy that object.
Okay, alright, well, let's talk to the Baron about this. Do you know where he would where he typically, okay. Uh, do you have a way where I can locate him, relatively easily so I don't have to go hunting for him?
Well, last I heard, at least what my little birdies told me, is that the Baron was at his estate. Everyone was looking for water on his property. I have no reason to assume he's not at home.
Alright. Oh, at least that gives me something. Well, thank you, uh, oh, and I got one last question. This is just me, just it's that. He points to the moss thing, moss and mushroom thing.
Ah, yes. I'm growing some red caps.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you for your time.
Oh, one more thing before I let you go. If you really want to break a curse, it doesn't hurt to wander around the Mages College, Hecate's Mages College. As much as I despise the mages there, they're a rather resourceful bunch.
That was actually my second place I was gonna go.
All right, good luck on your adventure. I hope you find what you're looking for.
All right. Oh, what's the name of the rabbit again?
Bun Bun Hoppinsworth. If you do talk to him, don't let him go off on a tangent. You'll forget why you came.
I'll try.
All right. Meanwhile, Joseph and Xavier, you are both still around the Baron's property. I believe Joseph is tied up. Xavier, what are you doing?
No, his net is lagging, so he said he'll be right back. Um, while that's happening, how's the entity looking? Is she looking agitated or calm or anything?
Um, you can see that there's just a patch of tall weeds that have sort of appeared around her. You know that she is somewhere within that patch of reeds, but she is no longer in sight. And the sun around you is still turned down rather dimly.
All right. Joseph kind of like sitting there. It's gonna be like tapping his fingers on his knees, and then just to break the silence, he'll say in Sylvan, "I don't know the full story of what happened to you, but I once too was betrayed by somebody."
I can only imagine what you've been through, and I'm not discounting it, but I imagine when you were betrayed, you did not also get cursed to live underground for the rest of your life.
No, I didn't. But I was sold into slavery and given nothing but scars on my body and pain as a reminder of the betrayal.
I know how that feels. Tell me, um, how long have you been around these parts? You wouldn't happen to have met my father, would you? His name is... And then his voice gets muted again.
Joseph's gonna kind of have like a sad expression for him, like, "I'm sorry, every time you mention your father's name, it gets distorted, like something's preventing you from sharing that information. But being as where we found you, your father wouldn't happen to live in the estate behind you, would he?"
Um, you can show her eyes light up, and she tries to speak and point. The motion of her arm suddenly becomes blurred, as if to obscure what she's pointing at, and a long string of words is replaced by grinding. She actually tries to talk to you for several minutes, all of which is muted. I'd like you to make a perception check to try to hear anything between the grinding sounds.
Ah, damn it! Fucking exhaustion. So much regret right now with this exhaustion. Yeah, so much fucking regret. Damn it.
All right. She keeps trying to talk to you, but every time she tries to tell you something relevant, she gets muted, and it's a very like painful noise. It grates on your ears and it grates on your soul. It's you're not being tortured, but it kind of feels like it.
It's something Joseph's useful. I mean, will wince, but he's like, nah, I'm used to pain, but he'll say in Sylvan, this curse is definitely troublesome. It's not letting you share any information. I'm going to assume that was a yes. If you can, uh, show me through the weeds. Can you write the weeds in words, possibly?
You can see the weeds weave themselves into almost like a cursive script, and you can see a blur effect take over the weeds.
Confound this curse. I might have another way. As I look over my shoulder and kind of call to Morgan, who now the invisibility wears off and reappears. Uh, in this form, Morgan can do what is it? Heart sight, yeah. The sprite touches the creature and magically knows the creature's current emotional state. If the target fails the DC 10 Charisma saving throw, the sprite also knows the creature's alignment, celestial fiend, undead. I kind of am assuming she's Fey at this point, or at least a cursed individual. But the idea is to use this ability to sense her emotional state, maybe get an idea on like a yes or no through her emotions. So I'll relate to her. She can through touch, she can sense your emotions if you'll allow her. Maybe we can get your answers that way, through yes and no, based off how you're feeling.
You're welcome to try. I won't resist.
I have Morgan fly over and kind of like place her tiny little hand on her forehead as she does the heart sight, and I'll ask the previous question again about like if her father lives in the estate behind her.
As as your familiar touches her, it beams some of the emotional weight from this child directly into your mind, and you suddenly feel like you're drowning. I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw to not actually start gasping for air, as you can feel water filling your lungs even though you are in dry land.
Oh fuck! Am I reliving her memory of fucking how she died? Oh shit!
Back and Joseph has died.
I tried something. Now I'm getting like a wave of emotions. Here we go. Wisdom saving throw. Thank God. There's no disadvantage on that, right?
No, it's only checks.
18.
All right. Um, you feel this wave of water wash over you, covering your nose and mouth. Your eyes open, and you are no longer outside in the field. You are inside a house. Specifically, you appear to be inside of a bathroom, specifically the bathtub. As you struggle for air, you put your hands on the edges and pull yourself up. You can see a man whose face is blurred, with his hands on your face and throat. He screams at you, "You killed your mother!" And he shoves your face back underwater.
Oh. Oh, this is some dark shit. Uh, so fuck.
I'd like you to make a perception check, not at disadvantage because you're within the mind of this child.
Come on, baby. No!
You try to look outside the doorway to the bathroom, which is open, but through the illusory vision that you're being granted, the entire entrance is blurred. The only thing you're able to see is what appears to be blood trickling from outside into the bathroom. The man drowning you has no blood on his person whatsoever. As you come up for another breath, you see your hands are blood red. But as you get splashed below the water again, the water is washed from your hands. You feel like you cannot breathe. Make another wisdom saving throw as you feel like you're dying.
Oh, fuck my life. Oh, god damn it. Oh, no. Oh, fuck.
Alright, let me take a quick look here.
If I take... Oh, yeah, that's half my health right there. Yeah, after taking that damage, Joseph's gonna kind of reach out to Morgan, like, pull back! Pull back!
The connection is severed. You wake up stuck in the weeds, and water comes flowing out of your mouth as you are actually being drowned. And you feel your mind is on fire as you take 24 points of psychic damage.
That was more than insightful, but I couldn't get any more other than what was happening to me. You truly went through a lot, didn't you?
You can see her poke her eyes through the reeds as she slowly nods her head. I'm gonna put you on pause and hop back to you, Shorad. Are you going back to the Baron's estate, or are you going to the college?
I am going to the college.
Yes, it did, Xavier.
All right. So as you go to the college, you see students are bustling about. It looks like class just got out, and you can see there is a tiny 1-foot rabbit dodging people's stomping feet as he leaves a classroom.
Shorad immediately elbows his way through and picks up Bon Bon. Always makes the attempt.
All right. This is Professor Bun Bun Hoppinsworth. He has got very large, adorable glasses, and he is carrying a book as large as he is on his back.
Yeah. He picks them up.
Let me go! I am a professor of magic and I will not be manhandled! Put me down! Put me down!
As soon as I got a few questions I need to ask you. Now, where's your study?
Well, I was just on my way to the study. If you could help me navigate through these halls without me getting stepped on, I guess I would be most grateful. 2 doors down, on the right.
Alright. Shorad's gonna, I don't know if I can do prestidigitation with what makes my voice loud, but, he'll yell out basically, yell out, like, physic, everybody move! Everybody move!
The children look at, the children and adults, students look at you and they kind of get out of your way. They kind of look at you like you've got antenna. They're not sure why you're shouting in the halls.
Alright, that's better. He carries Bun Bun to his study.
Alright, you walk into an office room and you take Bun Bun to his cubicle that he's pointing at with his adorable fluffy ears. And as he sits in his chair, you see it's a chair on top of another chair with some fuzzy fake fur on top of it. And he gestures to the other chair and says, "Please, take a seat."
He puts Bun Bun in his chair and then he sits down. Now, the fact of the matter is, now I'm going to cut right to the chase. What do you know about the Baron Estate? I keep forgetting the name.
I'm sorry, who are you referring to?
The Baron of the estate of the Baron, the Baron that we found the water source on.
Ah, the Baron, yes. Wealthy patron of this college. Never a student, mind you, but he's made several generous donations.
All right, like the you. All right, like now, I got ever like has he ever has there been anybody else that lived there?
Well, yes, he used to have a wife and child. Absolutely lovely, lovely people. Generous. He was going to enroll his daughter at this college.
Huh. What happened?
Well, unfortunately, it turns out his daughter was, not right of mind, as you could say, and unfortunately we were forced to place a curse on her to punish her for her crimes. A sad day, really.
Wait, what?
Well, as it happens, it turns out his child was magical. The evil kind of magical. She killed her mother in cold blood.
Huh. Uh, all right. Huh. Okay, so what was this curse?
It was the curse of the Queen of the Reeds. He didn't want her dead, but he was very angry. Almost killed her himself, in fact. And after he was found not guilty in his trial, he commissioned us to curse her so that she could never threaten his home again.
That seems a bit harsh.
So is murdering one's mother.
Well, he it's there going. What did he offer up as a to keep the curse going?
To us? Well, he made a very generous donation to this college, funded the entire Children's Cancer Research Ward, which I am the head of.
Could you please repeat that? You glitched out on me.
He says, well, in exchange, for placing this curse on his daughter to get her out of his hair, he funded our entire cancer research ward, which I am the head of. We have been working tirelessly to cure this wretched disease and find out exactly why lesser and greater restoration won't get rid of this wretched disease.
Okay, but what's keeping the curse going?
Well, let's see. I believe I have a document here. He's going to pull out a filing cabinet, rifle through, pull out a file, and goes, well, the exact mechanisms are classified. You understand, we can't have anyone just going around undoing this curse. But yes, it's all in the documents here. His daughter was evil, committed murder, we cursed her on his behalf, and now we have our own cancer ward. I'm afraid I can't disclose any more details. The records are sealed by the local authorities.
Have you ever thought that maybe it was done under false pretenses? I mean, heck, deception is the bread and butter of my people. So maybe he wasn't being entirely truthful to you, or maybe he wasn't thinking clearly.
He was on trial before the king. He voluntarily stepped into a circle of a zone of truth, and he spoke. It was all convincing, and it all made perfect sense. His daughter was corrupted by evil magics. A very sad story.
Well, the fact of the matter is, even the truth, everyone speaking truthfully, it could mean the truth according to him. He might not even know everything that's going on.
Well, the evidence was presented. I wasn't present at the trial, you see, but enough evidence was presented to convince a jury of 12 of his peers. If we can't trust the ruling of the courts, what can we trust?
Well, because the fact of the matter is, curses are often nasty things anyway. I mean, heck, where I come from, I have a god who, if you piss her off, she might turn you into a drider.
Well, that sounds rather wretched. Honestly, this whole curse business never really sat right with me. But I have to do what is commanded by the courts. If you want access to these court details, the only way to get them is from the king himself. He demanded they be sealed.
Alright. Alright. I'll see about trying to get that. But the fact of the matter is, if it was to be discovered that maybe it was the curse was laid in a poor under false pretenses, would you remove it?
I would remove it in a heartbeat. I would never wrongfully curse someone. The law is the law is the law, and it is meant to be just and good.
Very well. Have a good day, Bunnyface. And he walks out.
That's not my name! Do you return to the party, or do you go to the king to request authorization to get those files?
He's gonna go to the king.
Alright, we're gonna put you on hold again and introduce Gregor so Gregor can make a choice. Just to get you up to speed really quickly, the party on the previous session, I don't know if you're aware, found an underground lair with a tunnel leading directly to the throne room of the king. So everyone was investigating that. Meanwhile, just a lightning fast recap, they have informed the king of the secret tunnel, they have elected a new Jarl, they were out looking for water, and while they dug up some water, they found a demon child within that water. And that's what everyone's trying to resolve right now, is they're trying to figure out how to get access to the water without killing the demon child.
Yeah, we're trying to resolve it peacefully.
Alrighty then.
So, what would your character be doing right now? You've got part of the party is over at the lake. Another member of the party is at Hecate's College of the Arts asking for more information about how to remove curses. What would you be doing during all this?
I have no idea because I haven't been playing my character since like the beginning of the orphanage thing.
Speaking of which, the orphanage is burned down.
It's
Great.
exploded. Do you want to join the group that's at the lake? Join your party member at the college, or do you want to go do your own thing?
I guess the lake.
Okay. So as you walk over, you are currently in the Westminster Barony, where Baron Bobbert Westminster resides. Your party, you can see that Joseph is currently bound up to his waist by reeds. You can see Xavier is hiding in the bushes, and there's about 100 soldiers up to their necks in dirt and reeds.
Apparently, Xavier is not hiding.
Oh, I thought you were hiding in the reeds. I ain't no pussy.
Xavier doesn't hide because he's a clumsy fuck. He's just sitting next to Joseph, and he's gonna heal him when.
Yeah, you probably kick a rock that sends an entire mountain of armor, plate armor, just come crashing down.
So Xavier, Joseph, you can see Gregor, the human fighty boy, walking up to reunite with you. What do you say to him?
I guess.
Hello. What are you guys doing here?
You know, the usual solving a curse.
You said you're solving what?
Solving. Wait, I said it wrong. You know, the usual finding a solution to a curse.
Hmm. So, what's the curse this time? I guess.
Isn't she hiding?
Isn't who hiding?
I forgot her name, but this is gonna sound racist. Black girl.
Oh, right. Gregor, you can see this. There is a girl sitting, hiding amongst the reeds. You can see that even though it's late afternoon, the sun has been dimmed, and it's dark out, despite still being day. You can imagine, you're able to put two and two together and assume that she has something to do with that. She's surrounded by reeds, your friends are trapped by reeds, and it's dark as fuck out.
Hmm. That is peculiar. So, are you guys just saying that reads on purpose, or?
Well,
I'm
the
actually willingly being a prisoner for her.
yeah, I was about to say the soldiers was well, she felt threatened. Joseph volunteered.
Alrighty.
Speaking of Joseph, he seemed to have taken some damage in his sleeping state.
Damaged, I
Like,
practically drowned. Whatever she went through was horrible.
uh, well, uh, honestly, I pity the poor thing, but I'm sure. Honestly, I don't know. I just pity her. And speaking of you, let me.
By the way, Gregor, you don't speak Sylvan, do you?
Let me check. Nope. Just Celestial Common and Draconic.
Okay. She is mumbling to herself, but you cannot understand what she's saying because you do not speak her language.
What is she mumbling, huh? You got 6 health back, Joseph. I know it's not much, but
Better than nothing.
actually, I'll do it twice. I heard you spell. Yeah. So you get 15.
Thank you.
All right. So, Gregor, Joseph, and Xavier, is there anything you guys want to do before we hop back over to Sharad?
Right now, Joseph's just gonna recover from from what he just endured, so he's gonna do nothing at the moment and just kind of watch the girl with concern and feel sorry.
So, are the guards like looking for the girl?
The guards are currently up to their necks in dirt and reeds. They are stuck, but they can breathe just fine and they don't appear to be injured. They're mostly just trapped.
And
Ah.
probably close to lubricating themselves.
They look a little bit scared and nervous, but they're starting to get bored and kind of hungry, and they would really like to not be up to their necks in dirt anymore, please.
I'm going to go up to you and like, y'all all right?
Well, My nuts itch, and I would really like to scratch them, but aside from that, it's not terribly uncomfortable. A little bit more moist than I would like it to be.
Yeah, generally how it is. Actually, generally how it not is here. Eh. Anyways, have fun sitting here. I might be able to bring some food to y'all later if you need it. So, goodbye.
You're just going to leave? Well, fine then. I'll just sit here and do absolutely nothing while you all you brave adventurers do nothing about this psychopath.
This psychopath. Every time I touch this push to talk button on my phone, it undoes it. Fucking phone. This psychopath was willing to stop killing you and hear me out. Be thankful she's not continuing it.
Oh, I'm sorry for not being grateful. Normally adventurers go and just kill whatever problem is at hand. If you had just murdered this child, we wouldn't be here. Phooey on you!
But murdering people is bad.
Besides, I called the others here because this thing feels as strong as me. Do you really think we could take this thing on?
Well,
Maybe not as one person or a group of soldiers, but he whispers to Joseph, I reckon we could probably take her on if we just all went at her at once.
I'm currently at her mercy. I recommend not. Right now, Shroud's looking for a way to remove the curse. Let's just wait and not antagonize her and be patient. That goes for you lot. Neck deep in the.
I just like wave to the girl and just sit on the floor.
Xavier and Sylvan is gonna ask the girl if she liked a specific animal when she was alive.
I will answer that in just a moment, but before I do, the guard with his neck up into the dirt, he says, If Hachiman were the Jarl, he would have just killed her. That's all I'm saying. That's why he had my vote. Screw you guys. And then what did you say, Xavier?
He asked if she liked a specific animal when she was alive. And
Well, I was actually a fan of bunnies when I was a little girl. So soft and fluffy and cute.
then Xavier's gonna turn into an Almirash to try and comfort the girl for a bit.
She looks positively delighted, and as you turn yourself into a fluffy, fluffy bunny and hop on over, she's just going to pick you up and snuggle you, and you can feel she is cold and wet, and the cold water just seeps into your fur and freezes you.
Sacrifice I'm willing to make for the happiness of a cursed.
Like, the affection is nice, but she is phenomenally uncomfortable to be in touch with.
We get it, okay, Zero. Stop it. We regret this. Xavier's being nice and he'll continue with it.
All right. So hopping back over to Shorad, you said you were going to speak with the king, correct?
Yupper.
All right. The king is in his throne room, talking, hearing the complaints of the peasants. He looks like he's about to pass out from boredom, but this is his job.
Shora just raises his hand. Sir, I need a moment with you right now.
Oh, thank God. I mean, of course. Excuse me. A moment with my adventurer. I'm absolutely certain that your cat can predict the future, but we will deal with that at a later date. Be gone.
Huh. He waits until they've left and gone. It's about the water.
Oh, thank God. You found water? We'll pump it out as quickly as you can.
Well, there's a bit of a problem. You see, what do you know about the God damn it, I keep forgetting the damn Baron's name. Like, the Baron's daughter.
Oh, well, last I checked, she had been cursed into some sort of creature. She wasn't killable, so they had to curse her. I don't remember. It was years ago.
Um, well, the fact of the matter is, she is there, but I'm going to say this right now. It might have been the fact that she might have been cursed under false pretenses.
She had a fair trial, as did her father. She was found guilty. He was found innocent. I can't reopen a trial. That's double jeopardy, and that is illegal.
Well, hear me out. I'm not saying, but what? Now, what was her name in the first place?
Her name was Tantalus Westminster.
Tantalus. All right, there's something I'm going on because the fact of the matter is we ran into her and she's and she was under the effects of the Reed's curse.
Ah, Queen of the Reed's curse. Yes, I remember vaguely now. Horrible, horrible curse. But the punishment does fit the crime. It was a fair and just sentence.
Oh, well, the fact of the matter is, so you rendered her effectively for 1 second. Let me do something real. All right. Well, okay, but like I said, what if you ended up sentencing her with either incomplete evidence or maybe like he's scratching his chin a bit. Maybe okay. You said that every person that goes into the zone, has to go through a zone of truth when they're on trial, right?
Of course. Why would we have such a powerful spell and not make use of it in our court system?
Now, how it is because I'm supposed to tell the truth. Well, what if he was telling the truth, but through this he might have been either giving you the impression of something else, or perhaps there were some things even he wasn't he didn't know about.
Well, I think in any other situation your concern would be warranted, but keep in mind, he was tried by a jury of 12. If he managed to convince 12 other people, he must have had a good defense. I don't remember the details myself, but I'll take the word of 12 people who were there on trial versus one who was not.
Mind if I take a look at the court record?
Of course, if you think you can get this wretched child out of our way and get that water, I'll give you whatever you need. I'll write you a permission.
Alrighty. Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, as you get your permission slip and go back to the college, you hand it to Bun Bun, who then hands you the file. And you see the details of the case. It's all written in dense legalese. I'd like you to make an insight check to just even attempt to interpret this garbled legalese.
He's feeling his teeth start to itch.
So the deciding piece of evidence, so what the details of the trial were, is Bobbert and his wife were just, were relaxing at home, and his wife was in the garden. He heard screaming coming from the garden, and he saw that his daughter, her hands were covered in blood, and his wife's head had been torn off, just ripped straight off. And there was no sign of anybody else in the garden. No one else had been spotted, and his daughter had white eyes, like magical white eyes. He assumed she was guilty of murder and tried to drown her, at which point he found out that she was magically immortal and could not be killed through mundane means. So he petitioned the college to curse her and just have her forever drown in the lake next to his house. Later, the lake dried up, but she stayed at the bottom of the body of water even after it had long been buried.
Okay, asked Bamba. So she was rendered magically immortal. How does that happen?
Bun Bun will inform you that she was born that way.
Okay, it said that her head was torn clean off. That seems to be a bit excessive for a bit much for a little girl of what's.
Well, clearly she had some form of evil magic. I mean, she was immortal, she had glowing white eyes, she was born with a natural magical aptitude. You're an adventurer, you know how powerful magic could be. Tearing off someone's head, especially a commoner's head, would be as easy as breathing.
Not as much as you think, because the fact of the matter is, it still, just roughly tearing off a woman's head like that requires the kind of strength that frankly, only really an ogre would be able to do. And well, being I'm losing my train of thought here. And well, she would also struggle, wouldn't she? Did I read any bit about signs of struggle?
There were no other wounds on anyone's body. The only bruises on the little girl were the ones caused by her father, and the head had been completely torn off, with no other visible wounds or marks.
And plus, the fact of the matter is, let me put it to you this way. Say you were being grabbed and they were trying to rip your head off. Wouldn't you struggle with all your might to try and stop that from happening?
Well, I don't know. I imagine a centaur guard would struggle for all their might to keep their lives, but they were slaughtered before they could even pick up their weapons, according to your reports. So you tell me, how would a magic caster kill someone without signs of struggle?
Well, because I don't know. Maybe there was a third person there that we weren't aware of.
And there was no mention of it in the court documents, and the guards did a full sweep. Not a trace. But you're welcome to re-examine the area.
All right, I don't know how much I would be able to get. Do you have any investigators that I can borrow?
I mean, the investigation was years ago, and every relevant piece of information is already in the report.
All right. Well, that's I'm gonna mind if you make a copy of this court case for me, so I don't have to keep coming back to look it over.
He'll take the file, hold it vertically, tap it twice on the desk, and peel out a second copy, like a carbon copy.
Much obliged. Now, have a good day, Bunny Face. And he walks out.
Professor Bun Bun Hoppinsworth! Get it right!
He's actually starting to laugh.
I say, it's distracting from my cancer research. Of the nerve. He will mumble and grumble and complain that you're taking up so much of his time, but you do have a second copy. Do you go reunite with your friends?
Yeah, he does. To relay some info to them.
Alright, so Xavier, Joseph, Gregor, as you're all brought up to speed about exactly what happened those many years ago, what do you have to say about the situation?
Joseph's gonna look at freaking Shroud and be like, I sense foul play. There's not a lot of information from other sources other than the father. Then there's what I felt when I had Morgan do a heart sync with her. She doesn't seem to be the kind of person to do that. And
Sorry.
she was filled with terror, sadness, and confusion and distress. Maybe that garden's something to go look into. Uh, and I'll send Morgan with you. I'll be able to see through her eyes.
Alrighty. He looks to the girl in the reeds. Tantalus?
She looks up at you and pokes her head through the reeds.
Well, I don't know if I'll be able to find the information, but I'm going to at least try.
I repeat in Sylvan in case you didn't understand.
She's going to solemnly nod, but say nothing.
Alright, and he sees the rabbit in her arms, doesn't he?
Xavier, are you still a cuddly little rabbit?
How much time has passed?
I'd say about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm still a rabbit.
Do you join the party in the investigation, or do you stay comforting Tantalus?
I'll go with them.
Gregor just looks very suspiciously at Sherrod, saying,
Sherrod
Yeah.
looks at the human. Who are you?
"Who are you?"
Sherrod of House Jellica. Who are you?
Gregor Fallow.
Sounds dumb.
It is. Why are you here, Drow?
Well, human. I'm here to make sure these idiots don't hurt themselves. He points to the rest of the party.
That seems needed from what I've seen of them. All right, let's go.
I'll have Morgan hop on Shroud's shoulder, and I will start looking through her eyes and senses. I will not be able to hear anything or see anything in this state, and I will inform the girl and Xavier of this. I can probably feel something, but I cannot hear or see anything. So I'm switching over to Morgan now.
All right. Despite the fact that you are bound by at least what the courts believe to be an evil, malicious spirit, you're relatively confident that with the guards bound and nobody else wanting to get anywhere near what they believe to be an evil child, you're surprisingly safe despite the circumstances.
Bit itchy, maybe.
Very itchy. You've got an itch on your nose that you can't scratch because your hands are covered in reeds. As the party and Sherrod through Morgana's eyes go to what used to be the garden, you can see shriveled, dead plants that clearly used to be beautiful, that are now just dead and taking up space. At the very end of the garden, you can see what appears to be a tombstone.
Oh. Shorad's he's gonna spend an hour and 10 minutes to summon his pebble through ritual.
Summon your pebble?
My white rat.
Ah, okay. Absolutely.
All right. All right. Now as he's scratching his rat, he's gonna look through look first at the tombstone.
The tombstone reads, Roberta Westminster, wife, mother, friend of the community. You will be missed.
All right. I'm gonna go find the Baron.
The Baron has mysteriously disappeared, at least last you checked. When all this shit went down, he and you looked around, he was nowhere to be found.
Huh. Strange. He heading back to the garden. He's gonna tell Pebble, all right, see if you can find anything strange, and he lets him loose to go look.
Morgan is gonna hop on the back of this rat and be like, "Giddy up!"
You do know that the rat's about the size of your familiar, right?
She's using her wings to make her light as a feather.
This sounds adorable. I mean, if one medium creature can carry another medium creature, I imagine a tiny one can carry a tiny one.
Pebble is annoyed.
So you're sending your familiars into the house or into the garden to search?
Into the garden for them.
Yep.
All right.
So is the house like abandoned or?
The house isn't abandoned, it's lived in. It's just that the Baron is nowhere to be found. He flew the coop.
I will knock on the door of the house.
There is no response when you knock on the door. Also, roll me an investigation check to see what your familiars find.
Alright,
Oh, the familiars.
Are you searching, do you break in and search inside the house, Gregor?
we using our investigation or the familiar?
You're on. Because I'm assuming you're controlling the animal, right?
Yeah, I'm doing so.
And I'm looking through Morgan, so yeah. Alright.
Yeah, I'll turn the handle of the house to see if it's already open.
The door is unlocked.
I will step in and look around.
We're practically in sync, Shred.
So, Gregor, as you investigate the house, you can see that, the ingredients to prepare dinner have been left out. So, obviously, whoever was here meant to return. But it's very quiet. You can see that all of the, the clothes and the items of his wife and daughter are just kind of strewn about the place as if they still live here, even though you know for a fact that they no longer do. And with a 15, you investigate the place. The first floor and the attic just seem to be an ordinary house. The basement door appears to be locked.
Ooh, he found something.
And then
Nope.
Shurad and Joseph were investigating the garden, correct?
Yes, sir.
So Joseph, while you're doing your investigating, you find buried under the dirt. It's looks like back when the soil was soft and wet, someone stepped in this. But now that the soil is dry and hard, it's almost fossilized a set of footprints, small ones.
Child ones, correct?
Make a nature check to determine what animal left these prints.
Oh shit. Okay. Let's see what my nature check is. I found him. Sure. I don't know why you're doing a nature check. He didn't say what you found just now. I'm pretty sure you found the same, but you know what?
We'll get to Sharad
Fuck
in
it.
just a moment, but Joseph, roll for nature.
Yeah. Shit. I have a plus. $15 average.
You immediately recognize kobold footprints.
Morgan's gonna be like, "Ah, horrible creatures. The things they do to pixies, pull off their wings and eat their limbs. Ugh."
You can tell by the how fossilized they are, how caked in they are, and how they were covered by a layer of dirt. These are several years old, probably about 3 or 4 years old.
So not long enough for the events.
Actually, it exactly lines up with the events. About
Oh,
3 or
shit.
4 years ago is when this all went down.
All right, so we're on to something. Uh, Morgan's gonna try to look for Pebble and kind of let him know, even though she probably won't be able to understand him. Or
Shorad, a few steps ahead of where the footprints got fossilized, where, the footprints left the moist, soft soil of the garden and there's no more footprints, you find a very old, rusty necklace with a dragon pendant on it.
he said BRB. I think he's checking his internet. So while he's doing that, oh, he's back. Never mind.
Sorry, I had to reconnect because it decided to boot me out where I can only hear you, but I can't reply.
Shorad, a few steps ahead of where Joseph found the kobold's footprints, you find an old, rusty necklace with a dragon pendant on it.
I'm gonna have Pebbles stand on the pendant, and while I go back and I go over and I gingerly pull it up, pick it up.
You can see that there used to be writing on it, but it has long since rusted off. It looks like it's too small to be for an adult man. This either has to be for a woman or a child. The necklace just isn't long enough for a man's neck.
Yeah, odds are by this the pixie's also next to Pebble, isn't it?
Yep. Pointing out the kobold footprints.
I kneel down to go look at it.
Make an Arcana check for me.
Gotcha.
Through Morgan's eyes, Joseph's gonna say aloud for the guards, Xavier, and the little girl to hear kobold footprints.
You as you analyze the structure of this pendant, you know that you brush off some of the dirt and the rust, and you see that this is a key. And judging by the fact that it's got a dragon on it, this is probably a key to something to do with a dragon.
Hey, God, where have I remembered? Shorad looks at Morgan. All right. Remember those kobolds we ran into when we were at the orphanage?
Morgan wasn't there, but she knows of the event you speak of, being as it's been explained. So she's like, "I've heard of that. Yeah, you think this is related?"
It might. I'm not 100% on that, so. But at least something. Because apparently I have a key, and I basically pulled the pendant up.
Well, where do you think the key goes? And what's in the pendant? Or is it? No, it's not a locket, is it? It's just a normal pendant, is it?
Yeah, it's like a metal sculpture of a key with a dragon wrapped around it decoratively.
Oh,
As if. Go ahead.
Sorry. So the pendant is the key. I fucking thought he had a key and a freaking pendant. Okay.
As if almost on cue, Gregor pops out the door and says, I found a locked door in here to the basement.
Oh, speak of the spider.
What did you guys find out here?
He turns around and holds up the key. Holds up the pendant.
Ooh. That might
Alright.
work on it.
Now let's go see. Okay. Come on, Morgan. He lifts her up by her foot ankle.
Hey, I can fly. Let me go. Ah! She wails around upside down. Tried to use her wings to level herself.
Okay, he drops her.
Yeah.
Come on, Pebble. He kneels down to let him back. Let him up on his shoulder.
Morgan in a huff like fucking Tinkerbell gets up, kind of just glares at Shroud and flies after him.
I couldn't resist.
All right. So, are you going to meet with Gregor inside the house by the locked door?
Yep.
And what would you like to do next with this key and this locked door?
All right. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna look for the keyhole, and I'm gonna stick the key in.
It slides right in, and as you twist the key, the door comes unlocked.
Oh, how about that? He pulls the key. He pulls the key out, and he says, "Small people go first." He points to Morgan.
Well, open it, silly.
He turns the knob and opens it up.
As you all pile into this room, you can see that this is very clearly a storage room. Like there's like old antiques, spare clothes, spare parts for farm equipment that you might use in the garden, and there is there's a drape over a chest-shaped object in the very back.
He goes to remove the drape.
You see a ordinary wooden chest, but the lock is in the shape of a dragon's mouth.
Maybe the key works on here too?
Let us try.
He's gonna try knock. He's gonna try knock first. The spell knock.
And with the spell knock, the chest opens, and inside you can see statues of chromatic dragons and gold coins with images of dragons on them. On the front, it's got the picture of a human man with a dragon tattoo, and on the back it says, "The worm speakers will rise again."
Well, this is an interesting development. He closes the chest, and he looks to Gregor. Well, lift it up. Pick up the chest.
And you just have to assume I'm strong, I say as I pick it up.
Well, I wasn't wrong.
It is substantially heavy, but being a fighter, you can lift it up without a check.
Dude, I have 14 strength. Is that really enough to lift the chest?
That gives you a +2, so yes.
Alright. But yeah, I'm a dex fighter. I'm not a punchy boy.
Alright, it hurts your lower back, it puts a lot of strain on it, but you're able to lift it and carry it wherever you want to.
Well, we got a draft horse, so we can put it on the back, so we can carry it that way when we on the way back. But this is an interesting development.
Yeah, Morgan's gonna sit on the chest, kind of looking back and forth between Gregor and Shragon. You think the king will let us keep the gold at least? I mean, as a reward? Speaking for Joseph, not myself.
Uh-huh. We'll certainly find out.
Yep.
All right, so Xavier, through this entire time, Joseph's been sharing what they found. They found cobalt feet. They found a locked basement. And in this basement, we found a chest. In the chest, there's chromatic dragon statues, some gold coins with dragons on them, and a note that says the what will rise again?
The worm speaker.
The worm speakers, yes.
The worm speakers will rise again, is written on the back of the coins.
Aren't those the guys that we met in the orphanage?
Yes, they are.
Yep, I assume so. Can Xavier go investigate that stuff?
So just to recap, So just to recap, a woman ended up dead. A girl got blamed for it. And yet the husband got off scot-free. Yet in his basement, hidden amongst all of his normal stuff, is a lot of valuable stuff from the worm speakers.
Yep. And we are now taking this shit out, and hell yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Time to go to Hannah. McMahon, Bafana.
Um, Actually, I think the best option would be go to the king, because being as he was technically the judge of the case, so he might want to see that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, sure. Looks to Xavier. Can you turn into a horse?
Well, since I just saw one recently, yes, I can. But at the same time, I don't want to be your horse.
You're not gonna be my horse. You're gonna be this chess horse.
What?
Gregor pulls out the chest.
Basically, you're becoming a pack mule.
Or I at least can keep my little respect that I have and turn into a direwolf.
Horses carry things better.
Donkey's even better.
Have a better back.
All right. I'm not turning.
Fine, then at least someone else help carry this chest.
I'll
Joseph,
carry the chest for you.
Thank you.
Joseph's gonna end that connection he has with Morgan as Morgan sits back on his shoulders and goes, "Can you please hurry? My nose itches and my legs are uncomfortable."
I go and itch his nose real quick, and then I go with the.
As you all get together and prepare to leave, you can see a humanoid figure standing in your way, right where the road starts.
God damn it.
Excuse you. No, no, no. I know that.
Wait.
Oh, I'm just in draconic. I'm just gonna be like, please, just let us pass.
Gregor says, and also draconic.
What do you say in Draconic?
Who is this?
I say, please, just let us pass.
That was very quiet, Xavier.
Please just let us pass. That's what he said in Draconic.
Yeah, thank you. Somebody hears me.
Well, I'd be happy to let you pass, as soon as you put back the treasure and put that little girlie back in her hole. You don't want any trouble from me, friends.
And I have absolutely no patience for this. I cast
No,
haste.
no. God damn it.
I cast haste on Gregor and go get him.
You.
Don't you do diplomacy, Shrad?
No, he's not a politician. Did you not figure that out?
Yeah, I forgot. Burn down orphanage. Mm,
Burn
kids
down orphanage and abstaining the vote.
Listen. You're all very much getting on the worm speaker's nerves. If you don't cooperate and put all of that back where you found it, we might have to get Severin himself involved. And you don't want that.
Why don't I just shoot you? He says very quickly.
He says what?
He says very quickly.
He says what
Oh.
very quickly?
Why don't I just shoot you?
You can certainly try. And he's going to put the staff on the ground and walk up the staff and balance on it.
Okay, I shoot him 8 times with advantage.
Roll for initiative if you want to attack. You can't just do that.
8 fucking what?
Okay, so I have 2 attacks, then I have haste, so I can do 2 more attacks. Then I have action surge, so 4 attacks.
Uh, no. With a haste, it only gives you one
Okay, so
attack per.
and then advantage.
That's something I learned too from that.
Mhm. Does haste give any bonus to initiative?
Gives bonus to armor
It
class.
it's in it, mad kobold nerd.
Wow, we know how much Shroud wants to be a part of this fight, don't we?
So was
Do
Xavier.
not once. Do not once. What is this?
So haste doesn't
Well,
give you a bonus to your initiative. It gives you a +2 bonus to your AC, and your speed is doubled. You get advantage on deck saves and an additional action.
That I can use to make another attack, right?
Yes.
Got it.
Just jump into it.
Let's just jump into it.
have fun, guys. I'm gonna get a snack while you guys fight.
All right.
Hey, Zeno, my man, how about you start that initiative? So,
Okay.
regular.
So I'm going to use Fighting Spirit as a bonus action, which it gives me advantage on all weapon attack rolls until the end of the current turn, and gives me 5 temporary HP. And then I'm going to attack 3 times with my long.
All right, roll for hit.
Yes, I am a samurai. Sharad.
Fucking weeb. You weeb.
I only took it because I have really good shit.
Shut up, you're a weeb.
I think he might be a little dead.
Ah, trust me. They don't die that easily. We've dealt
Seeing
with.
how it says Kobold 1 dead 3 times at the bottom, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Okay, so you can feel free to ignore that because he is not dead. He's not even wounded.
Alright.
I told you.
Okay, then I'll action surge and do that 3 more times.
I forgot that adding a kobold meant that you could target them directly with HP. I didn't actually mean for you to be able to do that. I don't want you to attack him directly. It's not a kobold.
Okay.
Don't you require a bonus action in order to use action surge?
Nope.
Nope, free action.
Okay, gotcha.
That's not any of my attacks.
But I will say, it doesn't give you your bonus action that is on haste. It only gives you back your actions, so you only get
I
2
know.
attacks.
Oh,
But
man.
it's still 3 attacks.
I'm very sad about. We're gonna die to a mad kobold again. Why does this keep happening? Kobolds suck.
So I've done a total of 51 damage, and I'm going to end my.
So you definitely don't do that. Let me tell you what happened. Shut up, Xavier. Shut up. So 3 of those attacks hit. You deal 6, 8, and 11 damage, and he is not even wounded.
Wait, how can he not even be wounded when it's healthy, and then you take like a health, and then you're wounded?
No, I mean like not in the like the bloodied like condition. He doesn't appear to be like in a substantial amount of pain or taking a substantial amount of damage.
Mm-hmm. I'll move like 30 feet back and end my turn.
All right, Xavier, it's your turn.
Well, Xavier's just gonna go for the old wyvern Yeah, and he's okay. Can I make an insight check to see if this kobold seems like
An insight check to see if the kobold seems like what?
a mage, wizard, sorcerer, that type of thing?
You don't need to make an initiative, or excuse me, an insight check to tell that. He is clearly wielding a mage's staff.
Oh, it is a mage's staff. Oh, then as a bonus action, I turn into a crag cat.
Okay.
And I end my turn.
Okay, Sharad, it's your turn.
Shorad goes, oh, gee, for the love of... He backs up a bit, and he lobs a firebolt at him.
All right, roll for it. All right, that's a hit.
And he calls Joseph and the Reed girl are within earshot, right?
Correct.
All right, he yells out back, convince her to join us. We're trying to fight for her freedom.
Who are you shouting at?
He's shouting back to Joseph, convince her to join us. We're fighting for her freedom.
I don't. I didn't even know there was any combat. Joseph didn't know, so hearing this, gonna look over. Do I see the encounter?
You do. You're currently covered in weeds, and the girl is hiding amongst her own patch of weeds. You're still stuck, but being unstuck would be massively helpful.
All right, gonna uh, I'm gonna let her know in Sylvan that there's someone standing in my comrade's way of freeing you from this curse. Help them, or at least release me so I can help.
She sounds genuinely terrified. Make a persuasion check.
At disc because of exhaustion. 13.
She releases your bindings, but stays hidden, terrified to join the fight.
Uh, hmm. So after I release, I look to her and go, thank you. And I'm going to rush over there and join the con.
Okay. So it is your little kobold friend. It's time for him to do his thing, and you can see that he twirls his staff over his head, slams it to the ground, and casts fireball centered on Xavier.
Yeah, no, counterspell.
All right, I believe that instantly canceled any spell 3rd level or lower, right?
Correct.
All right. He will twirl his spear over his head once more, slam it on the ground, and I would need Xavier to make a wisdom saving throw.
What?
I accidentally put in fireball or cast fireball rather than cast counterspell.
Okay.
Oh.
Still use the slot.
Xavier, you can feel a clawed hand try to grab your mind and turn you mad, but you resist and shake off the effect. The kobold ends its turn. Gregor, it is your turn.
Pew pew time. I'm going to use yet another fighting spirit and fire my longbow 3 more times.
By the way, is your longbow magical, by the way?
It is not magical.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm pretty happy with those numbers.
All right, yeah, all 3 attacks hit. You feel 3 very solid arrows connect, but you see these arrows are not going as deeply or damaging as much as you would expect them to for how solid those hits were.
Mm. Damn kobolds with their non-magical piercing resistance. I walk another 30 feet back and end my turn.
All right, Joseph, it's your turn.
All
Alright.
Just real quick, I just leveled my character up and I forgot to long rest him.
Okay.
How far away am
He is 30 feet away from Xavier.
I? Alright, so let's see. I am going to. It's too late to really hide. I mean, I could still attempt it, but I don't know the environment very well to find a place to hide. So, what I'm going to do is, for bonus action, I'm going to cast Hex at 2nd level.
Yay! Hex. Everyone's favorite spell.
And then I'm going to stay right where I'm at, and I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast on this guy.
Oh my god. It's like I've never seen you do that every time we like start a new battle, you
Okay.
Yo, just straight up polymorph me into like a mammoth or something, and I'll just gore him. Bam, done. There we go.
I don't have that spell yet.
Wow,
None
what a
of those
nerd.
hit.
None of those hit.
Fucking Avery, what the hell? Alright, well, I did all my actions, so that's the end of my.
All right, Xavier, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Well, Xavier's gonna. How far away am I from it?
He's 30 feet away from you. He looks like he's about to cast another spell in your direction.
Great. I'm gonna run straight forward at it and pounce, which means, yeah, I have to do a claw attack. If it hits, he has to do a strength saving.
You said a strength saving throw?
After I see. So no, he does not have saving throw at all. And yeah, that's about it. But right now I'm in right up his face. If he wants to like use spells against me. If you know what I mean. I end my
I didn't hear you. What did you say? You said, what about spells against you?
He says right up in front of this guy's face in case he wants to try and do spells on him, and he.
Okay. Sure, Ed, it's your turn.
He lobs He lobs a. Actually, I have a better idea. I cast magic missile at one of the legs that he's using to balance on the on his on the staff.
Okay. I believe you get 3 darts, not just the one.
Yeah, you should do a cast magic missile and then space dash RR then space 3 when casting magic missile.
I believe you get 3 darts at first level, and then an extra dart if you're casting it at a higher level. What level are you casting it at?
Base level.
Okay, so 3, 4, and 3. So that's a total of 11 damage. So as you cast magic missile and you hit him in the ankle, you see that you do hit him dead center in the ankle, and he's forced to do a little flip, and he lands on his hand on his little staff.
Okay. Knock him off the staff!
You can see.
Sorry, but I forgot to mention I give him disadvantage on his intelligent checks because of Hex. Again, I forgot that feature.
All right. So he's going to dance some more on the top of his staff, hop down, twirl it above his head, and slam it to the ground, casting fireball centered on Xavier.
No.
Counterspell.
Yep.
He's going to repeat the motion with his second action, slam it down. Xavier, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Why is this Alt-A attacking Xavier?
Wait, did it try and fireball me?
Yes, he tried to fireball center on you.
I'm right up in his face. He does realize that.
You're not sure if he can careful cast it or not, but it looks like he didn't give a shit if he got caught in the blast.
Whoa, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, fuck.
Oop.
I'm sorry.
Old person, I'm guessing?
A twisted crown of jagged iron appears on your head.
Oh no.
Yeah, but that's to to notify that I'm out of third level spell slots. I can't do that again.
I have an idea.
All right. On your next turn, you must use your action to make a melee attack against a creature other than yourself that I get to mentally choose.
Great.
But he
Anyway,
still
you
has
want me to-
he can still move of his own volition. So if he's just right next to the kobold dude and he has to make an attack, it'll just hit the kobold dude.
Pretty sure that's not how this works.
Nope. Zeno can't control your movement, so yeah.
1, you're wrong, and
Just-
2, even if you are right, I'm overruling you. Shut up.
DM has final say.
I know that, just
Leave it at that, please. All right. So whose turn is it?
It's Gregor's turn.
okay. Moving up 60 feet and the pew pew pew. The pew pew pew.
All right, let's see it.
I should probably just copy this so I can just do it on my turn. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use one of my lucky die to re-roll that 14.
Okie doke.
And that's a 17 plus 9, so pretty sure I hit with that.
Yep, so 2 of those attacks hit.
Epic. Alright, I have my turn.
Let's see. So that's a 12 and a 10, half damage, blah 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 blah.
11.
Okay. Joseph, it's your turn.
Alright, this is gonna be quite a long shot. You said he was 30 feet from me originally.
He was originally 30 feet away from you, and then Xavier moved up. So he's face to face with Xavier right now.
Alright, so actually I can't, because if I use my movements, I can't use my bonus action to hide if fucking Actually, no, that won't work. That would be funny as hell, but it won't work. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is no, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm going to cunning action. You can take a bonus action to on each turn's cast action or hide. Okay, so I'm going to move 30 feet up to this kobold, kind of just like stare him in the eye, give him a smile, going, "You want to help us get the chest to the king?" As I use Fey Presence. Once per short rest, as an action, you can cause each creature in a 10-foot cube from you to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 13, or become charmed or frightened by you. Your choice until the end of your next turn. So with Xavier right next to me, I'm also attempting to charm him as well.
Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. You said wisdom save, right?
Correct. So Xavier, I need you to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Horrible.
He does not have good wisdom.
Me and my good wisdom.
Fuck! And they both pass. That does not help me in the slightest. I will use my bonus action to. It says for cutting action, I can take the. Nope. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to attempt to do something and it will be a disadvantage anyway, so fuck it. I'm going to use my bonus action and hide under Xavier's cat-like form.
If you want to roll for stealth, you certainly can.
11.
Oh.
All right,
I must.
Xavier, I need you to use your movement and your action to approach the closest ally within 30 feet and make one melee attack against them.
You mean the guy under me?
Yes, I do!
So you noticed me. Yep, fuck.
You mean that the guy?
I brought this on myself.
That fella? Wow.
Don't worry, my attacks are good. Oh, he's gonna bite.
Let's see this
Damn.
stink roll.
Yeah, see, don't worry. Xavier's forms usually suck.
That actually hits.
A 7?
No, I'm kidding. I wanted to see his reaction.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So there's this person in a D&D server that I'm in that it had a 3 in his roll for stats, and he designated to bomb his stat of Dex, and he wears no armor.
Oh dear God. Okay, I see where that's going.
So yeah.
Zeno, at the end of
Literally
my
every monster that has attacked him, he has hit.
Yes, you at the end of your turn, you repeat the wisdom save to try to break free.
I want to break free.
Holy shit!
Nice.
I'm a monk. That's what we do, man.
Love it.
This
Of
what
course,
we
I
do, man.
should have said that before I got controlled, but whatever. I think. No, I don't think. I do have advantage on the saving throw, but I was dumb. So,
Congrats.
All
like,
right.
as if I knew all along and just wanted to make life easier for you.
Because you're a nice player like that. You're a nice.
Shurad, when the kobold realizes that Xavier is broken out, he looks like he suddenly realizes how wounded he really is, and he looks genuinely upset that that plan did not work as intended. He looks genuinely scared. What do you do?
Well, he is going to 1 second.
Die. Shorad committed self-deletus.
He is going to say, "I think it's time I think it's time you cut off that staff." And he casts another magic missile, this time going for his wrist.
All right, as he's dancing around, balancing on his wrist, go ahead and roll damage on magic missile.
So yeah, cast magic missile and then space dash RR space 3.
All right. So you hit him in the wrist, causing him to flip in the air, and he tries to land on his foot effortlessly, but you've already attacked his foot, so he just falls over prone.
Kill him!
Did I hear prone?
Yes, you did.
Stab time.
But it's his turn.
Oh, damn it. He's obsessed.
He's going to immediately stand up.
Well, he has a broken ankle, so it's got to be rather.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's moving anywhere fast. So he's going to use half his movement to stand up. He's going to take his staff, and since you're right in front of him, he's straight up going to poke you. Like, not attack, but just like poke you in the chest with the staff and cast Fireball at point blank range.
Sorry, I
Fireball?
can't. This one.
Fireball! I need.
Man, it's crazy how. Man, I was gonna make a joke, but nah. Dex save.
Everyone within 20 feet of Xavier needs to make a dex save.
You hear that? Person
Can
who's
I-
under.
Can I use Xavier as a shield?
No.
Damn.
You are trapped in a swirling ball of flame.
Yeah, yeah.
Yay!
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did it! Oh!
Natural
Oh,
20.
yeah. Screw you.
Kobold gets in that one. Kobold gets in
Person.
that one. Kobold gets in that one.
You see the flames swirl around the kobold as he carefully casts the spell.
What a hoe.
Yeah,
Oh, damn it. I thought he was actually cool and suicidal.
Damn, I thought he was cool and suicidal.
Let's see, half of 35 is 17, right?
You are right, that is math.
Okay, so you both take 17 points of fire damage as this kobold puts his staff right under your chin, Xavier, and just fires that bad boy off. You see the staff, now consumed and out of charges, disintegrates.
oh,
He's
There is a big smile on my cat form.
smoldering cat form.
Gregor, it is your turn.
Hey, Xavier, all those healings you gave me, they're now gone from that one fireball.
Hit him while he's down! I shoot 3 more arrows into him.
Hit him! Strike him down with all of your fighty fury. Ooh, all good hits. So, let's see, 5 plus 6 plus 9 got him. Oh, 20, thank God. So he takes 10 points of damage. Now, even though he's clearly resistant to this point of damage, at this point he's just taken so much abuse that he's starting to bleed, and he's starting to bleed hard. He looks like he's not going to make it much longer.
I go up right next to him and end my turn.
Joseph the Phantom Christoph, what would you like to do?
So I just heard that an ally just went up right next to him. I'm going to crawl out from underneath Xavier, and I'm going to go up to this kobold, circle around to his backside, being on the opposite end, giving me my sneak attack. So I'm going to attack him with my dagger.
By the way, is your dagger magical?
Nope, I have no magical weapon.
Probably doesn't need it due to sneak attack.
You're probably right.
Whoa, that fucking sucks.
You have advantage because you're sneaking.
Yeah. Faggot.
Why did I forget that? I forget that a lot.
It's the prerequisite to do sneak attack.
Gregory is right about that. That is the prerequisite.
Yeah, but I keep forgetting little tidbits. I don't play like one class enough to memorize them. I always jump on.
Haven't you memorized the entire player's handbook, you plebeian?
Does a 19 hit?
Yes, a
It does.
19 hits.
It's like a memory class or something. So roll those sneak attacks.
Now, I haven't memorized the entire player's handbook, but I've played enough characters to actually get an idea of what I want.
Yeah. I've played too many one-shots online to not know what like every class does, so.
That's 12 damage from there, but I have 2-weapon fighting, and I have crossbow expert. I can fire my crossbow without disadvantage at close quarter combat, and it is in my offhand. I'm going to shoot this motherfucker with my hand crossbow.
You'd be shooting a dead man.
Oh,
So
Okay, never mind.
How would you like to end this?
I basically crawl out from underneath Xavier and then just slide around up behind him, twirling the dagger in my hand, and thrust it right on the back of his neck, coming out his throat, turning it ever so slightly and pulling it out his right side.
As you stab him in the back of the neck, you feel the resistance of natural, almost plate-like armor trying to fend you off. You force it, cracking the plate, and it comes out his throat. Blood geysers all over Xavier as he writhes on the end of your dagger, and he slowly falls still, gargles, and collapses. As he speaks through gargled words, going, "The Baron lied to me."
Yeah, Joseph's gonna have a smile of satisfaction for a brief moment before taking a serious face and looking at the party, going, "All right, go ahead and take the evidence to the king while I keep our friend over there company."
Will do. Just give me 1 second. He's gonna go loot the corpse.
when Xavier turns into his human form, he is gonna apologize for being controlled.
not like you did anything while you were.
Even so, I put you at. I'm sorry for that.
That happens.
Alright, anyone who's trying to loot the corpse, roll for investigation.
I wanna loot it too.
If anything, I just want to find gold. Fuck it, I'll look.
I'm gonna take my shovel and I'm gonna dig a little shallow grave for him and I'm gonna stick the body in once everyone's done.
By the way, do any of you have proficiency in survival?
We.
Being proficient in survival, you're fairly confident that you could probably carve up this kobold's natural armor into a sort of like a hide version of plate armor, if you so choose.
Sick. I want that. I want that.
I rolled 2 19s on a disadvantage. Do I find anybody he has?
I got +6. Also, Xavier. I'm the samurai here. You're just a stinky poo poo Drew.
Jesus.
Yeah, if you could do it, and I'll use the help action so you can get that sick advantage, bro.
Okay, Xavier, with your
Shoran's one to look. I was the second, Joseph the third. Just making that obvious.
all right.
Oh yeah.
So Xavier, you reach under that sweaty loincloth and find his coin purse full of 50 gold pieces.
Xavier does? God damn it.
And then Joseph, while you're digging around, you find what looks to be an alchemy bag, filled with actually you're as a rogue. I don't think you know what these would be. Do you show them to the wizard?
Bro.
I'm gonna look to Xavier, noticing he has a coin pouch. You look at this. I'll trade you.
Deal.
I take the coin pouch.
Can I'm proficient in Arcana. Do I know what? Do I know what the pack?
Well, you recognize the pack from the outside immediately as an alchemy bag, but it looks like it's filled with something other than just common ingredients. So Xavier, as you trade the gold for this alchemy bag and you look inside, you just show it's full of these strange, soft, fragile little orbs that you've never seen before as a druid. Anyone who wants to can make an Arcana check. Sharad, you would roll with advantage because you are a wizard.
And I can help him thanks to the Master of Tactics.
Oop.
All right, Sharad, you've seen these things 100 times. You use them all the time back home. You recognize Goho M. They're little capsules that when you crush them, they teleport you to the last bed you slept in. There are 4 of them. Whoever wants them can turn on homebrew and add Goho M.
I traded them for them, fair and square.
Also, 21 survival. I'm guessing that gets us this.
You take your dagger and you separate like lizard-like scales from more human-like skin and tear off sheets and sheets of scales. And you're able to mold them into the shape of plate armor and tie them out with leather and twine. Meaning, since you can have plate armor that's not metal, overcoming that druidic limitation on metal, if you should choose to use it.
I'm wearing it.
Thank you. Joseph's gonna look at the stuff going, I'll give you 25 gold for one of those.
Shorad takes one look and says, "Deal."
What do you
Okay.
mean, deal? They're mine.
Yeah, Xavier has the bag.
Okay,
Yeah,
I have a few more.
No.
You examined them, but they're still mine.
Zeno, I have a few more questions about the plate.
Yeah, go ahead and add normal plate armor and rename it to be kobold scale armor.
Does it still have disadvantage and impedes the use of dex leveling, dex stacking?
That is correct. It has all the exact same properties of plate, it's just made out of natural material.
Xavier, you can have it if you want.
Oh, I am a fan of using my mind and body for defense.
I'm pretty sure we can sell it. I mean, plate goes for a lot, and plate that
Since
a druid can wear, that'll probably go for more.
Since I helped you, all right. Let me carry it, and I'll certainly give you half the money.
Sounds good. I bury the flayed corpse.
There was no way to turn that freaking hide into leather at all. Oh no,
Uh,
wait. You were talking about something else, weren't you? I thought that's what we were discussing when you were saying that. Yeah, I can't wear it. You.
no, it would not be possible to turn that into hide armor. It has been turned into plate at this point, which has consumed all of the available skin. So you're burying a flayed, skinless corpse. It's very gross.
Yes, I know.
Whoa,
But still respectful to do so. Even if we did
did you-
mutilate and it steal all of the stuff from school.
Shorad's gonna whiz on the grave before heading out.
That's mean.
Do you want to go to the guild hall and try to sell this armor that you've created?
Sure. Yes, it is plate armor, Xavier. We're gonna make bank.
Okay. So plate armor, if you were to purchase it, would cost 1,500. Normally, if you were to sell it, it would go for 750 gold pieces. If you want, you can try to persuade the merchant to give you more because it's fancy kobold scale. Ooh.
Tiger, what's your persuasion?
+2.
I have a +5, and I have the master tactics for helping. But the thing is, I opted to go hang out with the girl while you guys supposedly were supposed to turn in that evidence. So
I have a lucky dice. I have a lucky dice. We can do this.
All right, well,
Just give me the help action, and I'll hold the armor.
Yeah.
And...
All right. If you would like to try and persuade, go ahead and roll. Maybe Mercantile will give you a little extra coinage.
You see, this piece is a very nice piece. You see, since it's not made out of metal, even druids can...
Interesting. I wonder if I could find a bar who would be willing to pay extra for that.
Okay, I'm going to use my lucky die.
Go for it.
Watch it get the one.
Okay, that's an 11.
Yay! Above.
You have a +2 to persuasion. Reroll. Roll with the proper... I'm not going to count it if you roll incorrectly.
Okay. There you go. Bam, done.
All right. Let's see. 17. Let's see. What's 750 plus 17%? Let me bust out a calculator.
Time to do 8th grade math. Yeehaw!
Let's see. With a plus 17%, instead of earning 750 gold pieces, you earn 877 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces, which you can divvy up amongst yourselves as you please.
So 877, right?
We're gonna divide by 2, obviously, because
Okay, you can keep all the silver and the odd change since you helped me carve it and such.
what?
You can keep the extra gold and the 5 silver, and then we'll split it even.
Oh, all right.
No. I wouldn't do you dirty like that, Xavier.
You know what it sounded like, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Just say how much you're gonna take.
Okay, so let's see. 876 divided by
876 divided by 2 is 438.
All right, I'll take 438.
430.
438.
All right.
So that leaves with Xavier. That leaves with 439 gold pieces and 5 silver.
All right. Great. Oh my god. So much.
Making bank.
Bank. Okay, let us go bring this evidence to the person.
All right. So you all go to meet the king, right?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. King Rexy Boy.
King Rex is having a council with some peasants who are just complaining up a storm because his dog pooped in my yard and I stepped in it. I want him hanged. The other guy goes...
Seems reasonable enough.
The other guy's, look, he's a dog. Dogs poop. They poop on grass. It's not my problem. I am not responsible for cleaning up after my dog. And he sees you adventurers. He's like, oh, thank God. This is, I'm so happy. I will deal with this later. For right now, you're both arrested. Go away.
Sure, just one of the stronger players to characters to carry the chest in, each holding a one of the handles, and then tossing it down. If you guys want to.
So you're going to toss the chest on the ground, correct?
We found some evidence of the Jarl with the child. I thump down the chest.
You know, I sent you to the. I thought you had accompanied the new Jarl to go find water. What's with this chest?
Okay. Should you tell them or should I?
I got it.
Let Joseph do.
I
All right.
I hold up the paperwork, the court case. Remember the bit with involving the little girl, and the case involving the little girl and her curse?
The case was 4 years ago. I barely remember it.
I talked to you about it about 30 minutes ago. Oh, whatever.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, well, when we decided to come through his estate, we found this. He kicks open the lid of the chest.
It takes him a minute to register what he's seeing. He just kind of, at first he just goes, ooh, shiny. Wait. Oh, shit, those are dragon statues. Oh, we need to get Astashan on this. These look like they could be powerful relics. Oh, this is clearly evidence of worm speakers. Where did you find this? Who had this? I'll have them hanged.
In the Baron's house, in his basement. In the old Baron's house.
Traitorous scum!
He also tosses down the key that also, we found this at the estate along with kobold footprints. The footprints seem to be old, so it might have been around the same time that the little girl, the murder of the little girl's mother happened.
So you're telling me a man potentially loyal to the worm speakers may have lied in court?
He might have. Because the thing is about the zone of truth, if you're clever enough, you can actually get around it by telling a truth, not the truth, but a truth that gives the impression of something entirely different.
He slams his fist on the armrest of his throne. Damn it! I can't believe we were all so easily fooled.
Next time, actually get some investigators rather than just relying upon the zone of truth.
I'll give you a 400 gold bounty if you bring me the Baron's head. He is a traitor.
About that, we will do that. But what about the curse?
The curse. Well, the curse was issued by the college. They would know how to lift it. I have no idea.
All right. Do you release? Do you allow the buddy face to remove the curse?
I do. I will write you a permission slip for it at once.
Alrighty.
McGregor leans over to Shard. So, where is the old Baron?
I have no idea. The fact of the matter is John. He looks to Joseph.
I'm not here. I'm still with the girl.
Right. I don't know. The fact of the matter is, apparently he's gone.
Uh, uh, your royal, your royalness, whatever, King Rex. Okay, King Rex.
Your
Do you have
Highness.
any lead
It's
on
called Your Highness.
Highness? I don't know. I don't. All right, King Rex. Do you have any leads on where the old Baron would be?
Well, as far as I know, he never left his own property. But if he is in league with the Worm Speakers, I'm sure that they have at least attempted to put him into some sort of witness protection. He's probably being protected by them. You'd know for sure. Tell me, did you find any evidence that he is currently still working with the kobolds?
Yes.
Yes. There was a small lizard man on our road back from here who questioned about the gold.
I highly doubt that's a coincidence. He must have known what you were up to.
Yeah. We promptly killed him and buried him and took his flesh, but yeah.
You took his flesh? Never mind, I don't care.
We sold his skin as an.
Ugh.
Oh, Shorad goes, well, since that's handled, I'm going to go over and talk to Professor Bunnyface. He heads on out with the writ.
All right. So as you meet back up with Professor Bun Hoppinsworth, you review the file and you see that the object selected to be destroyed to remove the curse, the object that the curse itself is tied to, is the urn of Baron Westminster's wife's remains.
Oh, so this. So where would he? Well, technically, Mike. Are they still with the?
No, he just said you guys went to the academy, so it's long past, you bet.
All right. All right. So where would the Baron keep his wife's remains?
You saw her gravestone.
Okay, I guess we're gonna have to exhume the head. Whatever. Well, I'm glad you told me this, Professor Bunnyface. Have fun.
Bun Hoppinsworth! I am a professor and I demand respect!
Okay, Bunnyface.
Nah! Alright. So, you need to leave? We're probably going to wrap it up in about 10 or 15 minutes anyway, so you won't miss too much.
Alright. Have a good day, everybody.
You too.
You too.
Hi.
Okay, so while you are over with Bun, where are Xavier and Gregor?
Uh, you know what? You know what I miss?
Hmm.
Well, there's really nothing to do till what's it called? Sharad is done with what he's doing, so I'll cruise around that
Just gonna go cruising for Poon or what?
cruising.
Okay. I'm going to inquire about suppressed protests in Rex City.
Okay, so you're not... Okay. If you guys are going to go off and do things not immediately related to the adventure we have not yet wrapped up, then I'm actually going to hop back over to Shorad so he can finish this.
I just want you to get back to Shorat so we can go back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Shorad. So you know that the only way to break the curse is to destroy the urn, and you found the headstone where the mother was buried in the backyard.
And I'm with the other two.
The other two have apparently wandered off to do their own thing.
Oh my! I have to do all myself. He's gonna go find a. He's gonna go find the 10, the guards that are still up to their necks in the ground. And he says, "Hey, Pokes, you got a shovel?"
I do have a shovel. It's in my hand, which is below the dirt.
I don't have. Look, he looks to the little girl and he mimes digging, and he points to the guard.
She is going to open up the dirt just enough for you to grab the shovel, but keep his feet firmly planted so he can't get away. She still looks slightly suspicious of you, and isn't willing to let these guards go, especially not after they tried to kill her, or wanted to kill her.
All right, he takes the shovel and goes, "Oh, have fun." I heard little girls like to play tiddlywinks or something like that.
Tiddlywinks.
He's just about it. Oh, and don't and don't anger her. Little girls have a tendency to get angrier faster.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Thought it was a monster. Thought we were supposed to kill monsters, but apparently not. Apparently we helped them, like good people and put them to rest and help them with their problems. Why don't we all just quit our jobs and become psychologists and therapists? Ah, stupid.
Hey, you can always go when you're done. You can always pee on the corpse of the gravesite of the kobold.
I will.
It's right over there.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not there. Right, shit.
Alright, he goes over to the gravesite. Goes, I hate manual labor. And he begins to dig.
All right, it's you've got a very large shovel and it's a fairly shallow grave. I'll talk to you later, Gregor. So you're able to dig. It's only about 4 feet down, and then you find the urn that is buried directly below the headstone.
Alright, I pull it up to get it to a better vantage, and then I swing the shovel to smash it.
The ceramic pot filled with her ashes smashes on impact, scattering them all over the ground. A stiff breeze picks up, scattering the ashes into the wind.
Alright, let's go see if she's fine. And he goes over to check on the girl.
As you're walking back around to the front of the house, you can see the darkness that has shaded the sun has faded away. The sun is about to set, but you're able to clearly see an unmuted, unshaded sunset. You see the reeds have all fallen away. The men are still stuck in the dirt. That was real dirt, and they're really stuck. But amongst the reeds, where this black-skinned monster used to be, is just an ordinary girl, cold in tattered clothes, just happy to be free. She's going to run to you and hug you around your waist.
He's gonna uncomfortably go in, yeah, pats her on the head. Okay, I'm not used to this, so please stop.
Daddy!
Daddy?
My own father tried to kill me. Will you adopt me?
What?
I'm having so much fun.
You're the only one who's ever cared about me, and didn't then try to kill me.
Let's just say that the guards decide to agree with what's happening to him.
Whatever you say, Daddy. I'm never leaving your side.
Oh, jeez. What have I done?
Well, okay, since I said I'm going there a while ago,
Yes, if you want to catch up with Sherrod, you absolutely can.
Yeah. So do I find him hugging the?
You can see Shorad trying to walk forward and get to the guards who are still buried up to their necks, and you can see a little girl in tattered clothes just hanging off of his waist, her feet dragging behind him.
Gonna chuckle himself a bit, and
Okay.
it's just like, I see you've got the curse to be broke.
Yeah, could you please do something about her? I'm trying to do something.
Uh, hey, so since you can talk now, what is your name?
My name is Tantalus Westminster. Westminster. I cannot talk. Tantalus Westminster. I don't know why that was so hard to say.
Uh, well, since you hard for him to keep you with him while he's adventuring, me and Joseph and fellow of our adventurers now are barons. We have a place where we've got a bunch of kids who were orphaned. Do you want to maybe stay with them?
No, I'm not an orphan. Shorad's my daddy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shoran has the look of help me.
Well, I am sure that is the case. Unfortunately for Shorad, his job takes him on far adventurers, which are dangerous for sweet girls like you. So I'd recommend you try and
Uh,
go there,
It's an
see
idea.
for yourself.
He stops Xavier real quick. How would you like to play with a bunny?
I
What did
mean,
you
I
say?
do like bunnies, but you don't have to be worried about me. I'm a powerful sorcerer. Just watch. And she moves her hands in an arcane way, and nothing happens. My magic! It's all gone.
Well, you can still. Well, I have someone who might be able to teach you magic, and he's a rabbit.
I do like bunnies.
Yeah, see?
Oh, and
Well,
uh,
it is.
he passes Xavier the shovel.
Or you want me to save the guards, don't you?
Yeah, I got something I got to do. Uh, Now, the fact of the matter is, no matter what he says, always call him Professor Bunnyface, okay?
Okay.
Well, Shorad, if you're gonna make her become a wizard, also show her where the orphans are staying, so she can head there. She's not studying to be a.
Well, that's all up to the one who's up to his waist. He points to now sleeping, apparently sleeping, like Joseph does it with John.
He's not the Baron. We've never discussed it yet.
You see Hannah the Regal walk onto the scene and look at her men and go, "You had one job, and you're all idiots. How did you get up to your necks?"
Don't blame them so much. The This sweet innocent child was a creature, a very powerful creature at that a while ago, and she did this. But the curse is broken and everything's fine now.
You all got taken out by a little girl. I have half a mind to fire you all.
As much as I would like that, I'd say let them keep their jobs. They've already had it bad.
Helen and the other half of the army that went the opposite direction to go divine for water will take out their shovels and weapons and various tools and dig out their friends.
Oh, and by the way, there is water here, right?
Yes. There is clean water 60 feet. With the magic gone, it sinks back 60 feet down to where it started, but it is clean well water.
And other than that, we found water. You can say our job here is done.
Fabulous. I will pay you with my
And
fares.
as promised, we as barons get some of the water for our land.
If you can pump it to your land, you can have it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I got. Shorad's currently busy corrupting the little girl so that she annoys the professor as much as possible.
She's soaking up every word you say.
Yeah, always calling Bunny Face. Give him remember to feed him carrots when he's doing something nice.
Of course, of course. That only makes sense.
And he loves having his fur braided.
Ooh, I love braids.
Yeah, he's gonna have so much fun screwing with Bun Bun. Oh, and if you ever see someone named Astashan, call him Uncle Astashan.
Okay.
Such a bad person. It's crazy how bad of a person you
All right. Well, that's all I've got for you. Is there anything you boys want to do before we end the session?
I want to see a quick thing before when he gets gets the little girl to the college. See the first things of what she and look, it's Professor Bunnyface.
Bunny face! Bunny face! She picks him up and starts spinning him around. Let me go! I am a man of science! I am a professor! I shall not be manhandled!
Roxy starts laughing really hard at the.
He's so fluffy I could die!
Oh, by the way, Professor.
Professor Bun Bun Hoppinsworth looks like he is in the ninth circle of hell.
But yeah, he's just loving it on this and laughing really hard and going, oh, by the way, Professor Bunnyface, could you mind lending her some robes?
Yes, yes, just anything to get me put down. I will conjure you the finest robes.
All right, Tantalus, please put Professor Bunnyface down.
She'll put him down on the blah, 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 back on his seat, and he'll like stand up, straighten out his fur that got fluffed up, and go, "I never." And he's going to pat his tiny little bunny paws together like a clap, and Tantalus's tattered, rotted robes are going to be transformed into gorgeous Cinderella-style robes.
There we go. That's much better. Thank you, Professor Bunnyface. He pats him on the head.
Now, that is quite enough of patting and hugging. If you need to speak to me again, it should be about cancer research, not this nonsense. You're wasting my time.
Oh, and by the way, she likes giving you carrots, so have fun. He walks away.
I am allergic to carrots. I got a little carrot for you. I am allergic. Eat the carrot.
You're gonna be the reason he dies. I swear to God, if he force feeds him a carrot.
Oh, dear God.
I love how evil Shoreland is, man. An evil creature of the hell.
Thing is, Shora's not an evil person. He just has a cruel sense of humor.
No, he's just a dick. I love him. I love every inch of him, but he's a dick. Because the session's over, right, Zeno?
Yeah, the session's over.
Yeah. just I can't describe Shorat, man.